Hello guys.
I was gonna go there. I wasn't sure if everybody would understand that, but yeah, you know.
Yeah, but I kind of agree as well, right? Like if you kept playing defensively and you allow your opponent to dictate the pace of the game, then over time it will kind of eat into you.
Yeah, I mean, it's about pressure, right? It's the opening game, it's the first series of the day. Team India wants to put their stamp in Group C along with Vietnam. So for now, it seems to be much more in favor of Team Vietnam as we observe in Game 1. It's bound to how Team India restructure themselves and calm their nerves in trying to combat in that game to equalize out the series.
If you're Team India, I don't think you need to worry too much. Yes, that game one was, you know, loss. It wasn't the worst.
They really favor aggression as their primary playstyle and aggressive team fights, 5v5s, in trying to get those early leads. So for India, try to equalize those fights, find those better moments in the early game so you can slow down the aggression coming in from Team Vietnam and then try to face them head on in those 4 minute marks, 10 minute marks with the outgoing 5v5s.
Do you change things up where, as India, that game one wasn't great, but are you like, hey, let's draft something very early game centric. Let's take the fight to
What's up
them.
guys?
Let's change things up and let them react to us.
I would say that if I was on Team India's side, I would prioritize heroes like the Lapu Lapu and Zhang on my first pick, and then try to reap in towards something like Chano or Direnjie that gives you more of an aggressive laning phase and a comfortable mid to late game that you can play around with. Because early in this specific patch itself, we're referencing towards Season 13, there's still a lot of different counters in this specific Asian Games patch that allows this early to be not as efficient as the first pick.
I'm kind of thinking
Holy
the other way,
crap, man.
right? Like, what if you set up a
Yo,
draft for
what's up?
yourself that is like, okay, I can do split
If you're new
push.
then please subscribe to
Because
this
if you
channel
look at
guys.
the how Team Vietnam plays, right? They at some point they like to get
Like the
together, they like
stream.
to go around the map and try to win space. But if you have like kind of like a hero that can do a split push, then maybe that could be a good counter to Vietnam's style.
Yeah, but it looks like the side selection. I mean, it looks like India are going to be on the red side, so blue is going to be first pick, of course, with Vietnam going on that one. They're going to see exactly how they, maybe they pick up the early themselves.
I like the red side especially. When you are given so many strong picks in the meta, red side always gives you an advantage that you can counteract the first pick that's being brought over by the blue side, while simultaneously taking another strong pick that has been left open due to the limited bans available here. So for India, their mission here in the red side is to
You
counteract
guys
as much
need
as they can
any
with Vietnam, be it early, be
live
it
stream song
forward,
and all?
so they can get a comfortable laning phase that we talk about.
Okay, the world is your oyster, Sagi. You're
Okay.
able to pick any sort of hero here. Don't look at bans and anything like that, and especially that first pick, right? But what is that second and third pick? You're like, oh, I'm gonna lock this in. This composition is always great. It's very balanced. You're not gonna be penalized because there's no global ban. Like, what sort of heroes are you looking for to kind of, have that tried and true, especially when you're picking second here?
Ooh, second here, if there's no bans, I think definitely in this specific Asian Games version, Dun and Dolia definitely takes a very high position here, as we do want to find out what is the exact planning here coming in from both Team Vietnam and India here. We will be jumping into Game 2
So
of
Candy
the
is
draft
playing
phase
better.
here. Vietnam on the blue side and India going on towards the red side.
I'm kind of holding on right now because I want to see what's going to be the ban. Okay, it's going to be Dolia.
It's gone.
Okay,
It's gone.
Dolia is going to be banned the entire tournament. Here, mark my words, guys. If there is a game that the Dolia is being let go, I'm buying her own coffee.
And for me as well, yeah, I think the coffee will be available because I do agree as well that the Dolia will be available. But I do like the Yuhuan pick. It kind of reminds us of 2025 where Yuhuan was always first pick because it can always swap between mid, roam, or even the jungle per se.
A lot of, just it brings so much, and it has role flexibility as well, even if you wanted to flex it. And it looks like Vietnam, they're like, hey, they're going to stick with their tried and true. They're going to go the Ata as well. Just had a great game one, and just why not just continue on?
Candy is doing well
Yeah,
though.
if it's not broken, don't fix
So
it.
already
Right?
one
It's
game
kind
is owned
now,
by
I'm kind
Vietnam.
of thinking a
Let's
little
see.
bit unconventional here.
India gonna
What if
obviously
Team
come back.
India plays the split push with least
Candy!
Well,
My
that is
boy.
really unconventional that we
Wow.
only see in ranked games here, but it may be an opening here if we do get to see it here. But I'm liking the Hoagie here
This
coming
is the
in from
actual
the
game,
top
guys.
in that farm lane. Hoagie
Why is
is
this clear, right?
a very good lane counter in towards the early here and also counteracts her in the mid to late game when he has 3 to 4 items going on. But the thing is, if the early on the hands of potentially I know just now gets to strategically block the ultimate coming in with the Maple Dash, this could
Nice,
be
man.
a ultimate miss out coming in from Vietnam as their primary engage tool.
Looks like they're going to go
If you're new, then
neutral
please
to kind of
subscribe this channel,
round
guys.
it up. I mean, India
Like the
likes to kind
stream.
of flex or to show the jungle early. I mean, Ata is generally a jungler, but it could go clash if they want, so it has that flexibility. But, I mean, is this too early? Are you okay with this Ukyo pick here?
I think it's a good preemptive pick here, right? Because if they're assuming that Bao Huang will be on hands on the Ata like the previous game on the jungle, then this Ukyo Tachibana serves as a good early game equalizer to defend the jungle or aggressively invade. It's just like what you talk about in the Wild Boar situation here. Yours gets stolen, just go for the enemy's one. Don't look to like recover goal elsewhere with a forceful gank. Try to match pace to pace with the farming tempo.
Yeah.
Okay. And based on what I see here, right, for Team India, it looks like they are trying to set themselves up for another really, really good team fight. So if they were to go there, okay. So if they were to
Holy
go there, then
crap.
they need a really good engagement here. I don't know. Maybe the last pick I'm looking at
Okay.
something like a Sunjo or something like that.
Yeah, that could be
Pure
strategically
man,
possible coming
guys.
in from Vietnam, as we do see that Lapu Lapu, Zhang
Happy
Fei,
to see
all
them.
these
I'm
roamers
really
are
happy
the
for them.
primary
They are
engage or
selected
are
for the
locked away
national
from the
team.
side of Vietnam. They're potentially pushing Nam Phong to potentially take this Yuan as their
Ooh.
roamer pick, and that's the party that we talk about here. It's a very strong clash lane here, but they're still sticking towards Ling Wang on that Yuan in the mid lane, and it's triple healing composition coming in from Team
Let's cheer
Vietnam.
up for
You
India,
have Bao
guys.
Huang on the Ata here, that great health bar. You have the Dire Beam. Those heals are definitely going to be strong. And finally, the Yuan. And that's an interesting pick here. It's not going to be the Lee Sin teleport that you suggested, Sir Cloud. It's going to be another split push pick. The Meteor backed in for India.
Okay, I mean that works as well. In theory, as long as you have that option for you,
So right now it's
perhaps
in
that
they
might
are
work.
playing in
But
Malaysia.
I really like the
So
setup here by Team Vietnam, right? They are set up to protect the Hou Yi at all costs. You have good frontliners, you have the Dia Dia as well that can support. So it's gonna be really, really good here for Vietnam.
Just a lot of potential burst, even from the Vietnamese squad. I mean, you have a lot of that control as well. You have the Ata with the ghost ship. Ling Von is back on his Yuhan. You have so many different, good things and options on this squad that the India lineup, they need to play immaculately in this one.
I have to agree with you, especially the jungle and clash lane here coming in from India on the hands of Ayush and also Aish. Those two players will definitely be an anchor here for Team India to win out that clash lane that they specifically saved last pick for Ashish here. But for Team Vietnam, it's about a stronger composition in a 5v5 scenario here. It's not
yeah,
only
exactly.
about Hui Tan on that Ho Yi. We see before, if you're giving gold to Ling Ban, he's definitely going to be dominating in those team fights.
I love it the way that Team Vietnam are drafting because
Yeah,
they're sticking to their tried and true, and they're saying, hey, unless you ban it or pick it yourselves, we're going to continue to ride this one out. They don't need to show their cards of what other drafts they have available. This is incredibly smart here.
It's time to find out whether Team India can pull the series back into a 1-0 for all, or will Team Vietnam seal the deal with a 2 and start their Asian Games qualifier clean in Group C.
The Lampo is going to play a big role here, right? Like Akshas, he has to be able to open up the space, zone
exactly.
up zone up with his ult, and maybe even set up team fights as well. So it depends on what kind of pace are they able to play here against Team Vietnam.
They need to play strong, right? India needs to be more aggressive early. Ainul taking a lot of damage on his way out. He does get the safety, and the tower just keeping him alive. Akshaj and Harsh are now here, and Harsh is in actually not a great spot as well. He's going to be immobilized. He gets knocked around, but he flashes away, and one last shot, and the first strike
Super.
goes the way of Nam Thuong.
Here's the thing at the early stage for the Hou Yi, right? His arrow volley is very, very good to harass whoever who's at the lane. And at the same time, while harassing, he's still able to farm as well. And look at this. Because of that, Team Vietnam is able to win the farm lane easily.
Okay, we were talking about what India needed to have done better, and that was have an early game. Okay, they didn't start off great. They didn't listen to us in this one. It seems like that was given up. I mean, it is just first strike. It's not the end of the world, but still, I mean, India need to find ways to, oh, nice honey sweet breeze. That was pretty legit. But now the bitter farewell on top of this one. But again, India need to find gaps, find ways to get catch up in that farm.
Yeah, and I mean it's still early phase, right? If you look at the goal difference, it's only like what, a couple of hundred. That's okay still. So let's see
So
what will
the
happen
Candy, I want
after
to just
Akshas
see
reaching
Candy
level
कैसा खेल
4.
रहा है
Because
to be
once he
honest. And
reaches
Pure
level
obviously.
4, then he can play a little bit more confident to go inside, open up the map, and try to win the space for Team India.
And look at the gold sharing, this posse that you're seeing from Vietnam. Look at how they're just rotating around the map, getting a lot of value. India are on the hunt. They're looking to prowl as well. It looks like they're going to steal some of the
Exactly.
boards. The smite is going to be used as well. Bao Hong on the chase, gets the pullback onto Akshas with that honey sweet breeze. Maybe he gets to safety. Yes, he's tanky enough.
Yeah, that's not really the target that Vietnam wants, right? They probably want to try to get the backline, but it's not easy to enter because of Ayush and Akshas. They protect Harsh really, really well.
Yeah, they do a great job. And I mean, that's the biggest piece, right? Sticking together, don't take any sort of risky
Exactly.
move. Yes, you want to be a little bit more aggressive as India, but you still don't want to be giving up any sort of elimination here.
And right now, looks like a Team Vietnam, they're trying to take back the pace of the game. I really like what Team India is doing though. They kind of heard like what we say is like, okay, you gotta dictate the game, and they're doing exactly that. But
Let
Vietnam
me
is
set up
reading
the
the
stream
situation
guys
really
first.
well, and they're trying to win back their own map.
Yeah, it's all about tempo, right? Because what you saw in the last one was India were behind in tempo. They played a little bit more passively. They were sticking together and not really able to take
ওরা
any
চলে
sort
যা
of the farm that was across the map. And that's what you want as an opposing team. You want to be very oppressive. You want that map control.
So because of that, I guess at this time, Team Vietnam, they're kind of forced to play this game a little bit slower. But this is going to be the risk of Team Vietnam, right? The risk is that the moment Ho Yi hits his power spike, the moment Ho Yi gets all his items in, he will, number one, have that damage output by himself, and he will have a lot of protection by his teammates. So they have to find a pick-off on the Ho Yi.
You got to get to the back line. Find some way. I mean, the mobility is more linear. Everything is kind of, you know what's roughly coming on, assuming that, someone's not hiding in the brush or whatever. So as long as Hu Thung is able to kind of, keep everyone, at arm's reach, he should be fine. And on the Ho Yi, you're going to do some serious damage.
Dude, I really like how the Dia Panampung here is really protecting the Ho Yi. He's always in front, and he's always like the one that's like, okay, zoning out for the Ho Yi, and Ho Yi gets the free, oh, Burning Sun arrow hit at the bottom.
Oh, he actually found him right on the tower, but it looks like he's going to be fine. And it looks like the Tremor Smash is going to completely whiff. Ling Fan has joined the fight, but he's just going to zone people away because they want the Tyrant, and they're going to basically take it for free unless Ayush gets the steal. Not able to find it. Bao Heng actually taking that one. And here's the Burst Ram to kind of slow them down. They're trying to just retreat, but they get caught around the Honey Sweet Green on the Ling Fan. The Unending Sorrow will mitigate all of that, and now Ayush is going to just back off, and Vietnam not able to find a pick, but they did take the Tyrant.
Just want to
Here,
set
the
up my
Outcast
stream
did
once.
not
Hold
have
on
his Tremor
guys.
Smash during the Tyrant fight, so they were not able to engage. Because if you kind of think about it, based on the draft of Team India right now, they are highly dependent on Aksas to engage. If Aksas does not engage, then, well, they have to kind of bait Team Vietnam towards them and try to make the counter engage.
It's one thing to engage, and it's another thing to basically initiate and get the control. I think that the control was the big piece that they missed in that last fight because, again, he missed that Tremor Smash. That was absolutely huge because it's a big ult. Now it's not there, and now you have to run because you don't have that control.
Okay, now he will have another chance because the Tremor Smash is back up again. But looks like the Team India, they have been very focused onto their lane in the past few minutes.
Yeah, and it looks like the heart, well, he's just going to get on back, making sure that he stays alive. India, this is the aggression that they want. They have a numbers advantage in the bottom lane. They want to push this wave out, put a little pressure on that bottom T1 because they have not really done a great job.
Okay, Burning Sun arrow there just to scout out the bushes at the side. But looks like the engagement is happening right now with Akshas going in. But then again, the other teammates are not really ready yet. What I'm seeing right now is that Team India is starting to pull the brake. they're not as aggressive as before, and this is allowing Team Vietnam to scale.
Yeah, it looks like Bao Heng, he's looking to fight, just control with a three, not able to find some sort of target there. But let's talk a little bit of the differences between this game and game one, where India actually got a tower. So this is about that space, and again, having a much better early game, and they've definitely done that in this one.
Yeah, we haven't been putting too much attention onto the clash
Exactly.
lane side, and I guess that's the advantage of Ashish picking his hero, right? And like what Sagi said earlier on, this is a good pick, allowing them to have that option to split push when needed. And I kind of predict that Ashish will just stay at his lane and just pressure at the side, while Team Vietnam might be going across the map.
You have a lot of advantages when you're talking about the clash lane, when you have that range. The Mie is going to be super annoying to deal with as HOK. He's done a decent job in terms of the net worth. He's keeping on pace, but when you've lost that tower, that's a little bit of space. Now you've been pushed back, and Ashish can continue on with that split push.
And if you gotta think about it as well, because he's been doing a really good job on his lane, but oh, and I thought for a second,
The Destiny counter is going to be used on top of the Burning Sun arrow, and they find
Holy
Arjun
shit.
just enough damage. Akshaj is getting a little bit low, but he too
Nice
control
one.
as he gets picked off. Lingvan from the side coming in on this one.
They
Ayush
should
tried to go
they
in,
should
but
back
this
up,
is a bad
guys.
shot. That's a double strike.
I don't know
all
why
the
they
way
are
to
fighting on a
game
choke
one
point.
MVP Lingvan.
It's no
what a
sense.
counter engage here by Team Vietnam. Team India, they tried to go in and it kind of looked good, but in the middle, Ashish might be in trouble, but then again, he's safe for now. But
Holy crap,
what a
man.
good counter engage there by Team Vietnam. Team India, again, I see their idea, but the execution is just lacking. They don't go in at the same time.
You think you're setting up a trap. You're setting up the ambush, but then the Burning Sun arrow hits you, and it changes everything, right? So they need to. That's another Burning Sun arrow as they decide to
ये
dive
क्या
the
है?
tower, and it looks like that's not going to be enough.
Coffee
The
खींची
Unix
बोले.
arrow by Ashish. He's going to get on back, and he's just going to barely stay alive on this one. The Umber Moon, excuse me, he will be fine, but India just dodging a bullet on this one.
Objective gameplay again by Team Vietnam. They don't get the takedowns, they get the tower. That's good enough for them. And they have a lot of zoning potential here with Lim Fan, with Bao Hang. These two heroes are good enough to zone. Huidak, well, he might be busy with his own lane thanks to Ashish.
Yo, what's up?
But they
India
have
team is
enough
that
options to engage
account, team
teammates.
account. India team account.
Freeze yet again.
Candy, by the way, Wild Rift का जो Candy है वो खेल रहा है, and other people are also there. Okay.
Taken down, and they're going to be on the run. Akshaj has been
कॉलेज से खेल भी, कॉलेज से देख भी क्या नॉलेज स्टार्ट तक भी. Sagi.
Shield, and it looks like Akshaj does go down. The hot streak going the way of Lingvan, who's done almost everything. Nam Kwang, he gets picked
Okay,
up as well.
get one
And
kill.
Bahang will also be taken down. I know.
Picks में थोड़ा सा इधर उधर हो
And
गया.
at
I
the same
mean,
time, while all that
Ash,
was
no, no,
happening,
no.
look at the farm lane
No, no,
situation.
Discord है नहीं,
Huidak
Discord है नहीं. Discord I can't.
push
Android में कुछ
towards
issue हुआ है. I don't know what
the
happened,
tier
but
2 tower
I
of Team India.
I think
Pressure
कुछ
on
issue
them,
हुआ
not
है
forcing
आपका,
them to
तो
defend.
login नहीं हो पा रहा है Android में.
That's the power of the HOK right? I mean, the
They should know,
you
right?
don't have to always join, and you have
मैं
that
कैसा लग रहा हूँ भाई?
potential and create even more space. But the Tyrant
कैसा लग रहा हूँ
seems
मैं?
like it's going to go the way of India. They've done a
Game
better job
देखो,
of at least
game देखो
keeping
आराम
these
से.
big neutrals.
बैठ के.
Yes, though they still need to catch up in terms of gold. Now the gap is still kind of there. It's about 3k. By the bottom, Huidak could be in trouble though. Burning Sun arrow connected.
It does actually connect, but do they have the follow-up? He's actually playing a little bit precariously on this one because, again, HOK didn't have a whole lot of life.
What
to
is
really
this
jump
JP
on
doing?
top of the
ये
Yuki.
Voxy कैसा
I
है?
guess that's okay, right? It's more about just supporting your team.
How are you?
Yeah, only setting themselves up for the next engagement, but they can still win though. The Burning Sun arrow is not up yet, but at the bottom,
Oh, they found Ashish, and they're going to just put him back. He's actually running the wrong way, but there's no space for him. Ashish is looking to go down, but he's going to use the Umbral Moon, just create a little bit of, timing and space.
क्या हुआ?
It was not all
Hold
in vain,
करो,
so
hold
to speak, but the Burning Sun arrow will connect as well, and they find him with that go ship locking it down. The Trevor Smash used just to keep him alive. Harsh is going to look to be just running off, but Akshas, he flashes away. He tries to burst Ram, but he turns it around. He might not have gone into. Not enough. Not Fong picking him up.
oh, beautiful counter engage again here by Team Vietnam, and because of them getting 2 takedowns inside of Team India, now the Overlord will be entirely theirs.
Oh, doing
unchallenged.
is good, huh?
Unchallenged, untouched. They're going to take the Overlord here.
Burning
It's
Sun
just a
arrow.
Burning Sun arrow missing, and they're really setting them up. I mean, Hoitan, he's been pretty like a sniper with these things, and it really sets up those team fights. And
माँ light टा जली दियो ना.
picked up here. It looks like Ayush is going to be on the run. He took that one away.
Wrong
which is
move, yeah,
okay.
bro.
That
Voxy
was how
match देख.
difficult it was to even just take a buff from my own jungle.
Okay, the next engagement, well, India need to buy a little bit more time, right? Because they have burned a lot of spells here. Two flashes no longer available. Now they're very vulnerable to, especially when Team Vietnam goes to the backline.
At the same time, Vietnam, a couple of their flashes were expended as well. So
And mobile
the
were
common
10 years
spells have
behind
been
other
used. This is
communities.
still a moment where they can kind of, continue
Yeah,
to
yeah,
put
exactly.
pressure on in the sense of like they have this map control, and Ashish has not been able to split push properly in this one.
Okay, so here's the issue here with the draft of Team Vietnam, right? Is that they don't have many options to go to the back line to try to take down
Yeah.
Hui Tan. Hui Tan is always, he keeps getting the free hits from the back.
Oh, the Burning Sun arrow right on top, right when the Umbral Balloon had just expired. Ashish is in a bad spot. He's going to be picked
I don't
off.
know,
Oh,
something
they've taken that
happened
one.
in
The rest
in
of
my
India
live,
are
bro.
going to be having to flee, hiding in their
VR team
bases,
is
and the
basic
Shadow
bhalo.
Vanguard
Yes,
is
exactly.
going to be
Clash is,
pushing the top
yeah,
lane as
exactly.
well. Vietnam doing everything as they go for this
Oh, they're
siege.
going.
They actually find this one. Now Fong is taking a
Who's that?
lot of damage as well. The Tremor Smash is
Holy
unreal.
crap,
Oh!
Hot
holy
shots
crap.
will prevail. He will be taken out on this one, but it looks like India are going to be backing off. They've gotten what they wanted, which is our two members of Vietnam.
Boys, तो by the way,
Nice,
कैसा है
nice
तू?
hot streak there. Hui Tan though still survives. So again, because Hui Tan still survives, he still has Lim Fan with him. He gets to push, and he took down the mid tower while Team India was busy resetting themselves.
That was, I mean, it was a decent hold, right? You're trading 2 for 2. You didn't lose the top T3. That's a small win for India on this one. But now the Shadow Tyrant here, it looks like, I don't think Ayush wants to go. The Burning Sun arrow right on top
Oh
of him.
no.
Finding him, he's just trying to dash away. They're going to lose the Azure Golem. The Tyrant is going to be leashed back into his lair on this one. They're looking to kind of flank on the side. India don't want to give up anything for free. Harsh is looking to join as well. And it looks like Vietnam are going to skedaddle on out of there one. But the Tyrant here, it's looking to go the way
कैंडी को मैं डीएम कर रहा हूँ भाई.
Kampong is on their way.
Oh, he's getting
खेलते खेलते
in.
ठीक है.
The charge in. He's gotten him, and they
कैंडी को
finally
मैं डीएम कर रहा हूँ, ठीक है.
over the flank, but it was
खेलते
all
खेलते
fake.
हैं.
Idol is looking to do his
कैंडी
thing
का
here,
फोन
but
स्विच
Ashish
ऑफ है.
is going to be picked off as well, and now they're going to be on the run. They've only got 3 members up. They find Nam Phuong on the side.
The cavalry from Team Vietnam arrive at the right timing. They lost
ओए,
Nampo,
अच्छा
but
खेल
they
रहा
got
है भाई.
2 takedowns out of Team India. That's what they were looking for. And because of that, right now, the Tyrant will be theirs.
That was like straight out of a movie. Like the timing, they think, oh, this is going to be a free time. We're going to look to go. But then you saw Bao Hong with the perfect 3-man charge, setting things up, and they're like, oh my gosh, we have to give up everything.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
trying to retreat, not
Candy
able
is
to do
playing
it.
well, I think.
Vietnam making them pay.
And Team India, they have to give up their bottom tower as well to the hands of Hui Duk. Hui Duk is doing what we thought
Candy-
that Team
Candy
India
is
could
doing
have
well.
done. It's like, okay, you do that split push thing. And Hui Duk is like, hey, we thought that you were going to do that. We're going to do it too.
They find Harsh. Harsh is so low, he has to just run away. But now they're continuing, which is not great. Akshash
Oh,
is in a
no.
bad spot. He's going to get focused down. Yeah, you're tanky, but how many shots can you take to the face as he's looking to run? They've got the pullback. He's not going anywhere.
Exactly.
Again, free hit for Hui Tan. What can Team India do right now? They have to take down Hui Tan first, but it's so difficult to go to the backline.
You can't find it. It's very predictable. It's very linear in terms of how you want to just potentially go. And now Vietnam taking the mid T3. They're just taking them
बहुत
down
ज़्यादा टैंकी है.
at
मैंने
will.
इतना ज़्यादा टैंकी तो
They're just
पॉसिबिलिटी नहीं है, ठीक
taking
है.
tower after tower right now, and Hui Duk is just doing Hui Duk things, standing at the
5
front line.
DSS,
They will
exactly.
engage.
They find it with a Burning Sun arrow. Harsh, you can't shake that one off. And now
उन लोग का I don't know, but
Minions
build वगैरह
to
थोड़ा
close
ठीक करना
game
चाहिए था.
2
Might
out.
be that was the
Vietnam
main
doing
thing.
everything well. Lingvan even taking the crystal
Ah,
shot
मत
because
end
they
करो.
find Ayush, who gets back to the fountain, but they're going to take the crystal, and Team Vietnam with the sweep.
And that is a clean
can't do
sweep
anything.
there for Team Vietnam to take home the first win in the qualifiers.
Very convincing victory
Qualifier.
coming in from Team Vietnam. Although
कैंडी को मैं डीएम किया.
we see Team India have
Game
a lot
खेलते
of
खेलते.
strength in those early games, towers left and right, finding those 1v1 victories. But we gotta give some props to Hui Tan. Those burning some arrows were really on point on that Hui.
Very, very, very good with those Burning Sun arrows. I think that he was, for me, every single time he set things up, like got a connection. It was just like an instant team win. It set things up for the rest of the the squad to kind of just back him up in the clean house. They did such a good job yet again.
Yeah.
There were good setups and there were good defensive Burning Sun arrows as well. And because of those defensive Burning Sun arrows, as much as Team India wanted to engage, they stopped at their tracks.
Yeah, which is a bit difficult, right? We did mention that in the pre-game draft, we need Team India, especially their top and Clash lane, jungle,
Yeah.
to win out the early game. Yes, they got the tower.
हम लोग का ये चला गया, bro.
Burning Sun arrow.
That's why I'm here
landing
too.
on towards the enemy team. Ooh, those are very heavy. Everyone that hit, they're like, okay, what's next? Oh,
I don't think so.
Number down. means our early to mid game power spike that we planned
Kimba,
is
Kaiser.
pretty
Kaiser is good
right value.
actually.
So
Dumb,
for Team India, early
dumb.
game was great, but
Exactly.
the Burning Sun arrows, those
Yeah.
were amazing.
Yeah, so like you're coach of Team India, right? Like, what do you tell your team? You're like, hey, we got to do a better job of dodging burning sun arrows. Like, what do we need to do? Like, give me some sort of pointer that I can really kind of, improve on.
Okay, so Burning Sun arrow on Hou Yi, right? First things first is like, okay, in rank game setting, for example, right? You'll tell like team like, okay, he has Burning Sun arrow, so watch out.
Yeah.
And then like you have like
कैंडी को मैं डीएम कर रहा हूँ
it
खेलते खेलते
is about like 30 to
कॉल
40
है नेना
seconds
आगे
for each
अच्छा
interval.
ले रहा हूँ एक
So
सेकंड
when
को
Hou Yi disappears from the minimap, you have to be careful here. It means
अरे
someone
व्हाट्सएप में कॉल
is
करना
Burning Sun
पड़ेगा
arrow, either from the bush, either from the segment of the lane, or somewhere else. So you have to be careful in the 30 to 40 second interval.
Okay. So you basically just like that internal timer
Correct,
that's going on, constantly just spamming chat a bit like, hey, 10 more seconds before it's back up. Be careful, guys. Like, do what you can.
I mean, they have voice chat, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
definitely they can pull it out.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think that you need some way because I mean, even going into this one, now you're on the professional stage. You need that same sort of timer, right? You need to ensure that every single time
ये
it's
लोग
available.
ये
You
लोग
gotta
ये
be a
लोग ये
little
लोग कुछ
bit,
अलग अलग ही
you know,
बोल रहा है
a little bit more scared, I would say, with your position.
Which is true, right? But let's do check out the scoreboard here coming in from Team Vietnam's dominating 2-0 against Team India. We gotta give props towards Hui Tan, Ling Wang, Bao Huang, Hui Duck, and also Nan Fong. This was a very clean game too, as so far we view this
this is quite I mean they should
Bao Huang, Ling Wang, and Hui Tan.
Yeah, they're so good. I mean, the way that they're able to synergize with one another, they're able to support each other and understanding when they need to go in. But let's talk a little bit about the positives, at least from the India side. I know really
exactly
showed up. Game one,
exactly
game two,
positive
had
see
a pretty
positive
decent game.
notes are
Dare I
very
say, if I was
very
IDO
familiar
and I was in this game, I would be reporting my teammates, huh?
Whoa, that's harsh, man. I mean, not the player harsh, but that's really harsh. But okay, in Team India's entire setting as well, right? There were a few games that we saw so far. I usually I know they will
कॉल ले रहा कॉल पे आ जा चैट बंद मत करियो बे
better out the heroes that
फेल
they
दूंगा
selected here. And so far, back-to-back games, Aino has had a pretty good showcase on the early, and we do have to give him props towards that. But in the end, Honor of Kings itself is a team game.
Hello.
We have to improve
Yeah, ball.
the team setting here. Maybe from early game.
की खेल लो भाई बेटा
Rotations, or the 5v5s that
की खेल लो बेटा भाई
10-minute tyrant, like they could potentially become
Yeah, and you kind of think
আমি
about it, right?
ক্যান্ডি কে
If
টেক্সট
you have
করেছি ঠিক
a
আছে
test draft, it's
মাইডে
not
ফ্লাইটে ওঠার আগে আমাকে ও ডিএম করবে
on the
দেখি মালটা কি
contrary,
রিয়াকশন হয়
Team Vietnam
এই ক্যান্ডি
have a lot of
ক্যান্ডি
pressure
ম্যাচ
to
শেষ হয়েছে ওর
So the gap, if you kind of think about it from a formula perspective, it's like really big.
Yeah,
Huh?
they just have so much healing, so much sustain, right? And the Ling Von, the way he's able to have that perfect positioning, always just hitting people from the maximum range, tenderizing, softening up, whatever term you want to use. And India really didn't have the answers to this.
which is true, right? And as of this point, if you were to view Vietnam's entire
हाँ
position as a player, heroes, you can see Ling Wang and Bao Huang. Guess the heroes must be strong.
I know
As we see Ling Wang as
देखा जी
early game goal sharing,
देखा जी देखा जी
jungle everywhere, taxing resources, making sure that
और
this
किसी बोला
one
नहीं
pick is not a utility pick, it's a carry pick for Team Vietnam.
Ooh, it's going to be a tough one, right? For whoever is going to face off with Team Vietnam in the future, right? Like, do they ban the Yuhuan? But if you ban the Yuhuan, then you're leaving a lot of other options open.
yeah exactly
Dolia.
Which is true.
A lot of uppers, a lot of goodness, I would say, the Yuhan. I mentioned that it was like the 2025 meta is kind of back in
Yeah.
one with this because it just has so much flexibility. You're seeing just the power and why you need to really look into this one, especially if you're one of the other teams watching Vietnam just absolutely excelling on this hero.
क्या ना
Which is true. And we have to go back to the drawing board. If you're on Team India here, drafting is pretty good in the first 3 picks here. You have a lot of quality onto
Huh?
Gnarly, onto Ainul, which has shown decent success. But when it comes down to an overall team composition, it's like what Sir Cobb mentioned here. How do you reach the whole heat? If you fail to sideline dominance on the leader and also the game,
अरे कोड
It was to protect the president or protect the queen, depending on how you want to look at this strategy, right? And Ho Yi was always in the back, always just like he was untouched. Whenever someone wanted to fight him, he was dictating.
স্ট্যাটটা দেখ লাইভ স্ট্রিমটা দেখ
No way to get on top.
তাহলে বুঝতে পারবি দেখ কোথায় কোথায় চোখ হয়েছে দেখ তুই ভালো করে
Literally just mowing people down. He was having the time of his life.
এরকম করে হয়
It's one
থোড়ি
of the heroes
Come
that
in,
give
Oded.
credit to, right? It's also the party as well.
Jungle
because
attack.
he wanted to like control his
আমি
game
ভেবেছি
plan.
jungle খেলবে
It
Candy.
was Ashish who wanted to have that idea of like pressuring the Clash lane especially, and he knows when to join his team and go back to his lane to do that step push.
And these are the defensive burnings like Aaron that you mentioned about the great time, finding the markers mostly everywhere in towards the map, allowing Team Vietnam to turn from a defensive position into an aggressive one in the early game.
And even when those fights were happening, two members were already down, and it looked like Ayush was continuing to try to find something. I think that these
হ্যাঁ
are
ওটাই
things
তো
that when you go back and watch the tape, you can't do, right? You're down two members. There's really no reason to fight because it's not a high percentage play.
I think it's more of a damage calculation error coming in from Ayush. He wanted to burst down a squishy target and immediately go for that retreat here, but misjudging the situation cost
Yeah,
him
man.
in the early game. I would say that this game 2 coming in from Team India is much better than game 1, where they actually had resistance, they could match.
ওরা বলছে নাকি it's much better than game 1.
In the end,
হ্যাঁ
they are getting dry kills on towards the map, and able to convert this into a jump. This is the most important one. You guys spawn and found those India, which set Team Vietnam
obviously attack item is the
and easy to
more
Yeah,
useful thing, right?
Akshas didn't have his trouble.
ওদের থেকে আমি কাউন্টারই দেখছি যে ওদের কোনো সাস্টেনেবিলিটি নেই
Have that then, well, unfortunately they can't even counter engage.
I kind of look at that Tremor Smash as more of like a counter initiation, the secondary one. But I mean, the MVP on this one, Ling Von, just continuing to just absolutely excel here at the Asia Games qualifiers.
Exactly.
He's the
What a
MVP
nice.
in
Oh,
back-to-back
nice, nice.
games,
Congrats.
6-0-8, and he had
Congrats,
the
congrats.
games, so his team really picked it up in this one.
Yeah, Ling Van is doing jumping design favor here.
Yeah.
Don't need to change the picture, don't need to change
Put me
the
back
hero,
in.
just change the stats.
This is putting back in. Back-to-back MVPs, Ling Ban on that you want here. Representing Vietnam as their mid laner here, definitely shining really well in the first series of today here. So Group C, you know for a fact that Team Vietnam is coming for that top spot.
I mean, they're looking for probably more than the top spot. I think that you're seeing just why this team is looked at as one of the favorites. Had a great Group C, in terms of that draw.
You also play, brother.
Because you know,
Huh?
hey, they're going to bring it, man.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, just look at the
Key.
gameplay. And like what we mentioned before the game started, right? Like, okay, we
Solar
can
key?
expect an aggressive gameplay, lots of experience and they've shown it,
Yeah.
right? They've shown an aggressive gameplay and they've shown adaptability as well. And the
হ্যাঁ ওটা ওই সময় ব্যাপারটা তো
I think they have more on the cards.
I think it's also coming down to the experience of the players here,
ও
where
ওইসব দিনগুলো আলাদা দিন ছিল
Team Vietnam definitely has more of the experience in game, how to position themselves, how to play the weak side, especially the clash and the farm lane, making sure that even though you're on the losing end, you can still make it a
এদের গেমটা দেখে তোর কি মনে হলো হোয়াট ইজ দ্য অ্যানালাইজ অ্যাবাউট দ্য গেম
more room to play for those team fights.
মিক্সড টিম তো
Right? Even when they're getting jumped, they know how to kind of, again, just back off at the right time and to turn those fights into a favor.
ক্রাউলি আসেনি ঠিক আছে
That marks a good team, and Vietnam was doing that in games 1 and 2.
Yeah, but
Hello,
everything
Ducks.
is lost yet for Team India, right? Because they have more games to play and they still have a chance.
Well, boys, we gotta show it tomorrow to actually check out Willis interview with Vietnam to check out what they have to say in this series.
হ্যাঁ
So,
ওটা
Mama,
তো
please take it away.
ওটা তো আছে
Here we are with Lin Van from Team Vietnam. Congratulations.
ভাইয়া এদের ইন্টারভিউটা দেখ
Performance. How do you feel about getting that first win for that opening day with such dominance?
Lời đầu tiên xin gửi lời chào trân trọng nhất đến đội trưởng Linh Văn. Chương trình muốn biết cảm nhận của bạn.
ভাই আমাদের ইন্ডিয়াতে ইংলিশে না বলতে পারলে আমাদেরকে পেলে দেবে ঠিক আছে
Đối thủ với chỉ số 20, bạn cảm thấy như thế nào?
আরে আলাদাই
Em cảm thấy là
এই শালা নতুন 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 রিলে কমেন্ট করেছিলিস
tự hào về đồng đội.
He feels very happy,
Huh?
excited, and proud of him and his team as well.
And that's something definitely proud of, showing that performance, great team
Oh, there you go.
patience. You were denying your opponent, getting the buff. Now, how important was this game to set that confidence for the upcoming
that person in my friend list okay
Qua trận
এই যে commentary তে বলছে না,
đội tuyển Việt Nam đã
এই আমার
có
friend
rất
list এ
là
আছে।
tốt trong việc giữ lường đảo đường và cũng như là khống chế đối thủ. Vậy trận đấu này có ý nghĩa đối với sự tự tin của mình như thế nào cho các trận đấu sắp tới?
Trận đấu sân thổ.
Mục tiêu của bọn em là đi đánh giải này là 100% là vượt qua vòng
Chứ
bảng
vui tớ
đứng
chị.
đầu của bảng này.
So our team purpose to be here today is to be the last one stand in the qualifier, and this game has supported us to show that we can do that.
And for sure, with what you've shown, a lot of people across the regions are impressed with what you've shown. And for sure, Team Vietnam would like to hear from you. Invite them to support you for your next match.
Và hiện tại những người hâm mộ tại Việt Nam chỉ rất muốn nghe lời của bạn về việc cổ vũ đội tuyển Việt Nam tại trận đấu này. Bạn có lời gì gửi đến người xem?
Bạn có lo ký bụng chứ bạn?
Lần đầu tiên là mình xin chào tất cả mọi người đang xem đội tuyển Việt Nam qua màn hình điện thoại và TV, và mình muốn mọi người hãy ủng hộ đội tuyển Việt Nam sẽ giành được bọn mình sẽ cố gắng để lấy được thành tích tốt nhất.
No. Livestream today.
We want to show our proud and make sure that we will be one of the strongest team here.
আরে দেখ না এরপরেও খেলা আছে তো 2 ঘন্টা স্ট্রিম করতে হবে 12টা পর্যন্ত করতে হবে
Congratulations to Team Vietnam. For sure your country is proud with what you've shown today. And we're going to be talking about that a little bit more, so we're going to head back to our casters. Lead the gorge.
क्या मतलब इंडिया हार गया इंडिया कर रहा है
Team Vietnam here, you can definitely see the confidence oozing out from the player itself, that he did mention that he wants to stand strong and tall.
না না ভালো খেলেছে accept
I think we both on this.
Yeah.
Definitely on that interview. I think that both of them, I mean, are there's a reason.
কে ঋষভ মালটাকে কলে নি না
Absolute excellent
Yeah,
performance from
exactly.
Vietnam, especially when you're talking about game one. It really set the tone of, hey,
আরে নে না কলে নি না ওকে অ্যাড কর
Let's not forget our translator as well. Confidence by him.
মালটাকে অ্যাড কর
Yeah, let's not forget, let's not
মালটাকে
forget.
অ্যাড কর
It's
এমনি
one
তো
thing
দেখা
to
করতে হবে
represent
সামনের মাসে দেখা করবো
right?
মালটার
It's
সাথে
another thing to represent your country here. I'm sure Sagi knows how that
Representing
feels
your
like.
country, huh?
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, it's
अच्छा
really
खेला है भाई सही में बताओ
proud
तो
to be up there and to show the best gameplay and the fans celebrate.
And yes, they will be celebrating with that victory here. But that's series number 1 of day 1. Coming in for series number 2, we'll be having Kyrgyzstan versus Nepal coming in as the second series of the day. Not a lot of information
Light বন্ধ হয়ে
for HOK. That may be
চার্জ তো লাগিয়ে দিতে হয় এটা
after the series itself.
I'm actually excited to see this because again, there's a lot of dark horses, I would say, and seeing exactly what they bring. Again, we were talking about meta and what these teams would bring. You're kind of seeing already Vietnam setting what should be the meta for them, but how did the other teams?
তোর অ্যাকর্ডিং এখানে মেটা কি হওয়া
how
উচিত
did they
ছিল
respond?
I think a good respawn coming in for Group C itself or other groups itself is to definitely number 1 draft.
Yeah.
Like, okay, why didn't we think of this during the draft? So can we copy this and use it in our own self? Is it fitting towards our own hero pool? Number 2, if by some chance that it actually makes it then
Yeah,
you
yeah.
use that as video footage to study.
আরে দাঁড়া আমি একটা কাজ করব
Are always
যদি এখানে আমার আমি হচ্ছে তোর
So we're gonna
একখানা ওয়েবসাইট আছে ওই ওয়েবসাইটটা যদি ক্র্যাক ভার্সন পেয়ে যাই তাহলে আমি ওই ও অবভিয়াসলি স্ট্রিম করবো তো অন দ্যাট টাইম আমি মাল্টিপল স্ক্রিন অ্যাড করতে পারবো লাইভ স্ট্রিমে মনে কর তোরও তুইও অন লাইভ কথা বলতে পারবি ঠিক আছে ওটা করতে হবে দেখছি তাহলে তুই আর আমি একসাথে বসে করতে পারবো এটা ভালো জিনিস হ্যাঁ বুঝতে পারলাম না
check out IQ itself, but of course, like for me example,
বুঝতে পারলাম না
I'm not a big fan of it. IQ definitely.
Yep, absolutely right. Definitely a choice and the choice of our players.
Yeah.
হ্যাঁ
But thank you so much so far for viewers to actually enjoy the
Yeah,
video.
yeah.
We have to go to a
Huh?
short break before we come back into the next series of the day featuring the next 2 regions. Take it away.
yeah ক্যান্ডি মোটা করে ওই যে মোটা এই যে দাঁড়া দেখাচ্ছি বলছি তোকে ক্যান্ডি কোনটা এখানে পিওর ম্যান হচ্ছে, বলছি তোকে পিওর ম্যান কে, পিওর ম্যান দেখাচ্ছি, পিওর ম্যান এ হচ্ছে ক্যান্ডি, এটা না এটা না, পিওর ম্যান কই গেল, যারা পিওর ম্যান কে, এটা পিওর ম্যান। আমাদেরই ছেলে পেলে খেলছে সব, আর আমরা বসে বসে বাড়িতে। ওকে গাইস, এখনো দুটো, হ্যাঁ এখনো 3টা ম্যাচেস বাকি আছে। সো কালকে একটা, কালকে লাইভ স্ট্রিম আছে, আফটার দ্যাট মঙ্গলবার আছে, আবার বুধবার আছে।
এখনো 3টে ম্যাচ আছে তো,
হ্যাঁ
জেতার চান্স আছে।
দুটো জিততে, বাট এইটাতে প্রেসার বেড়ে যাবে না, প্রবলেম তো ওটা।
হয়ে যাবে হয়ে যাবে।
ইয়া
পাকিস্তানও খেলছে নাকি?
পাকিস্তান আছে তো।
চল আমরাও চল খেলতে চল ভাই।
হ্যাঁ
আমরাও খেলি।
কোথায়? এচোকে আজকে লাইভ স্ট্রিম করবো, চাপ নেই। टुगेदर वी शाइन, हमको भी मालूम है।
এটা শুধু একটা ক্যারেক্টার সেটের মতো এনে দিক ভাই, পুরো মেন হয়ে যাবে।
ले ओह नाइस नाइस एनिमेशन बाय द वे।
গুড ওল্ড ডেজ ইন্ডিয়ান 3 নাম্বার সেট।
আমি হচ্ছে ইন্ডিয়াতে তোর ইয়েতে চলে গেছি, মাস্টারমাইন্ড
কাতে?
মাস্টারমাইন্ড ইন্ডিয়া র্যাঙ্কিং এ।
আচ্ছা
আর এখন ইয়েতেও ঢুকে যাবো আশা করি, ওই মার্কো পোলো। টাড়াং টুং টাড়া।
স্টার গুলো পুশ কর একটু, অ্যাটলিস্ট 50 স্টার কর।
50 স্টার? হ্যাঁ আজ 21 স্টার অলরেডি আছে, করে দেবো 50 স্টার।
Esports Qualifiers, Honor of Kings.
অনার ওকে
50 দিয়ে 100 করো, অনেক ইজি ভাই। আমি ট্রোল করে করে
Earn the right to
3 স্টার জিতে গেছি।
হুম
taking place in Malaysia, June 13th to 21st, 2026.
26
This is the battleground.
কিন্তু যারা হাইয়েস্ট টপ র্যাঙ্ক আছে ওদের 2000 স্টার আছে ভাই, অত করতে পারবো না।
Teams enter, but only
না 2000 স্টার ইজ নট পসিবল ব্রো, উই হ্যাভ টু প্লে লট অফ টিমস। ক্যান্ডি নিজে অতটা স্টার চার নেই।
location. Here is the 2026 Asian Games Esports Qualifiers Honor of Kings format. First, the 20
ভালো
teams
ভালো ভালো টাকা খরচা করছে, গ্রাফিক্স ভিজুয়াল ইচ এন্ড এভরিথিং ইজ ভেরি পারফেক্ট।
faces every other team once in a
আমি এই
single
চোখের কথা
round
বলছি।
robin, with every match played in a best of 3 format. That means every match matters. Every
That's
game
mean
matters.
every match
Every
matter.
single point matters. The point system is simple. Win the match, earn 1 point. Lose the match, earn none. At the end
এটা তো
of the
ঠিক।
group stage, teams
Huh?
are ranked by the total
ইন্ডিয়া
points
দুটো
they
টিম
score.
গেছে না কি
And
একটা?
from there, the
দুটো
rain
দুটো।
begins to shine. The top 2 teams from each group qualify
মানে
directly
এইচ
to the
কান্ট্রি
Asian Games
মানে
Main
দুটো
event.
যাবে তো?
That
হুম
means
ইয়া
8 teams advancing straight out of groups. But for those not through yet, the
না না
last
একটা গেছে একটা গেছে একটা।
যারা দুজন গেছে ওরাও তো টুর্নামেন্ট খেলে গেছে
still have one
হ্যাঁ
more shot. They move into the last
এখান থেকে না?
stage.
হ্যাঁ ওটা তো ওই টুর্নামেন্টের জন্য তো আমি বলেছিলাম খেলার জন্য, কেউ খেললোই না।
Elimination bracket until 2 teams remain.
আমি তো হ্যাঁ বলেছি হোক ভাই, আমি না বলি।
BO3 match to claim the
বাকি কেউ যে খেলছে
বুড্ডাগুলো ওয়াইল্ড রিফটে পার্টিসিপেট করছে।
will make it through. 8 from the group stage.
ওয়াইল্ড রিফটটা ছেড়ে দে ভাই, আর ভিপিএন লেগে খেলার আমার শক্তি ভাই শেষ হয়ে গেছে।
Time to see who can rise through it.
চ্যালেঞ্জের ইজি হয়ে গেছে ওখানে, আর ইচ্ছেই হচ্ছে না খেলতে।
Here in Malaysia,
গ্রুপে সবাই বলছে কি চ্যালেঞ্জার তো এমনি হয়ে যাবে, আমি বলে তাহলে খেলে আর দিব।
the path is set. The stakes are clear. Together,
কি বললি বুঝতে পারলাম
এমনই
না।
থাকবে।
stay tuned and
আরে ওয়াইল্ড রিফটে
stage.
কালকে
হ্যাঁ।
কথা বলছিলাম গ্রুপটাতে
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ
কার্তিক ভাই ও সবের সঙ্গে।
ও
বলছি কি চ্যালেঞ্জার কি মানে এই গেমটা কি ভিপিএন ছাড়া চলছে এখন? বলছে না ভিপিএন লাগবে, বলে তাহলে থাকুক ভাই।
আরে না ভিপিএন দিয়ে ভাই সি আমার ভিপিএন দিয়ে দরকারই নেই না, আমি খেলবোই না।
হ্যাঁ অনার অফ কিংস খেলবো, এত ভালো ভালো গেম আছে কাছে, ওটা কেন খেলবো আর?
এক্স্যাক্টলি এক্স্যাক্টলি।
আমি ওটা খেলতাম যদি আসতো উইদাউট ভিপিএন তাহলে।
কোনটা ওয়াইল্ড রিফট?
হ্যাঁ
হ্যাঁ ও তো हमको भी मालूम। I don't know, দেখি আমি একটা প্ল্যান করছি, ঠিক আছে, খুব একটা বড় সড়ো জিনিস একটা প্ল্যান করছি। সিচুয়েশনটা বাড়ি সেট আপ না হলে ভাই আমি করতে পারবো না, এটা হলো নেগেটিভ।
এই ম্যাচটা কিন্তু অনেক কমপ্লিকেটেড ভাই,
কোনটা?
হেভি ভয়ঙ্কর ম্যাচ এই ম্যাচটা। দেখ না বচ করবে কিভাবে।
অ্যালিসের মতো?
হ্যাঁ অ্যালিসের চেয়ে বেশি হার্ড মেকানিক্স আছে।
ও
স্কিল কম্বিনেশন গুলো দেখে একবার।
এটা মেজ নাকি ভাই?
হ্যাঁ দেখিস না বচ ড্যামেজ দিচ্ছে।
ও বাট ভাই টু বি অনেস্ট আমার কিছু কিছু মুভমেন্ট একটু খারাপ লেগেছে, বাকি ভালো লেগেছে, বাট কিছু কিছু মুভমেন্টে আমি কাউন্টার করে দিয়ে যাই, এরকম একটা ফিলিং আছে। এটা কাউন্টার করে দিই এরকম একটা ফিলিং আছে আমার।
বাস একটা সেটের মতো ক্যারেক্টার বানিয়ে দিতে হয়, মজা এসে যাবে আমাকে তো। সেকেন্ড স্কিল ট্রু ড্যামেজ, আল্টিমেট স্কিল একদম ধরে পড়তে দাও। টুর্নামেন্টে ক্ল্যাশ লেনার হচ্ছে বিরন ভাই, বিরনের চেয়ে ভালো ক্ল্যাশ লেনার নেই। বিরন, তারপর ওই ডুন। টুর্নামেন্ট খেলতে গেলে এইসব ক্ল্যাশ লেনারই লাগে। বিরন তো ফার্স্ট পিক ভাই, প্রায়োরিটি বিরন। যেমন ট্যাঙ্কিনিস এমন ড্যামেজ, হাইব্রিড বিল্ড করলে মরে না সালা, 4 সেকেন্ড পর আলটি আসছে, শিল্ড আসছে ভাই।
তোর সাউন্ড আসছে তো লাইভ স্ট্রিমে?
এটা হার্ডেস্ট এ হবে, চ্যাম্পিয়ন হবে। দেখ ওর মেকানিক দেখ, ফিওরার মতো, পুরো ফিওরা।
এটা কোনো আসেনি
না আসবে, সব নতুন হিরো তো। এটা মাস্টার করো ফিওরা।
মেজ ভালো মেজ বলতে হবে, আমার স্কিল বেসড মেজ লাগবে।
ওটা স্কিল বেস তো।
আরে মেজ থোড়ি এটা, ওটা তো ফাইটার।
এইটা না ফাইটার, ওইটা যেটা প্রথমে দেখালো ওটা তো স্কিল বেস মেজ।
না আমার ওই মেজটা বাদে লাগবে, আমার যেরকম ওই মাস্টার মাইন্ড আছে লাইক দ্যাট টাইপ অফ।
হ্যাঁ মাস্টার মাইন্ডটা ভালো। ও লেট গেম, ও মিড থেকে লেট গেম অনেক ভালো স্কেল করে ভাই, কিন্তু আর্লি গেমে অনেক হাজি, আর্লি গেমে অনেক সেট করতে হয়।
ওটা জানিস
ভাই টুর্নামেন্টে দাঁড়িয়ে নিয়ে খেলো ভাই, যদি এইসব।
ভাই মাউন্টেন ডিউ ভাই, মাউন্টেন ডিউ ইন্ডিয়ান না ভাই? আমাদের জানতাম মাউন্টেন ডিউ ইন্ডিয়ান। ক্রাউলিকে স্পন্সর করতো ভাই যখন আমরা মাউন্টেন ডিউ খেতাম ছোটবেলায়, বুঝতে পারলি? আমি তো দেখেছি ওর বোতলে মাউন্টেন ডিউ সেল হচ্ছে, ওর ছবি দেওয়া আলাদাই, ঠিক আছে।
এর পরের আপডেটে ভালো জিনিস দেবে, কনভিনিয়েন্ট স্টোর, ওতে তুই আইটেম সেল করে কুপন নিতে পারবি।
হ্যাঁ দেখি, আরে আমাকে তো দেবে ভাই, অলরেডি আমি তো পাবো গেমের থেকে, সেই নিয়ে চাপ নেই।
আমাকে স্কিন গিফট করিস ভাই।
হ্যাঁ পেলে দেবো, আরে কমেন্ট কমপ্লিটই করছি না, কোনো অ্যাসাইনমেন্ট নিইনি আমি, তার জন্যই তো চাপ হচ্ছে।
আমার করলি না তুই ক্রিয়েটার?
আরে সালে দাঁড়া দাঁড়া,
লাগে নাকি? আমার তো 11টা হলো এই মাত্র।
আজকে আরে এই উইকটা একটুখানি ফাকড আপ ছিল আমার, সত্যি কথা শোন।
হ্যাঁ
আমি কি বলবো, অফিসেও ফাকড আপ ছিল।
আমার তো র্যাঙ্ক ভালোই পুশ হয়ে যাচ্ছে ভাই।
আমি খেলতে পারছি না, তোমরা খেলছো।
বলবে আমাকে তুই রুম দিস না ভাই, তুই আমাকে শুধু বলিস রুম খেলা, আমি রুম খেলি না।
হাই
তুই আমাকে মিড দিয়ে দে, তুই আমাকে।
अरे बॉनी है क्या?
আমি সোলো বাসার করে দেব, তুই আমাকে রুম দিস না ভাই, অনেক প্রোটেক্ট করতে হয়।
रुक जा एक सेकंड दादा, ये बॉनी है क्या? ये এই ছেলেটাকে চিনিস? বনি বলে যে ছেলেটা, এমএলএ আমি তোদেরকে ডেকেছিলাম, খেলতো আমাদের সাথে, মেজ খেলে, খেলেছিস এর সাথে। বনি বনি BONE বলে একটা, সেলিনা খেলতো, इंडिया नंबर 1 सेलिना खेलतो। हाँ हाँ हाँ, कैसा है? बहुत दिन बाद। अरे भाई हमारा कुछ करो भाई, प्लेसमेंट लगाओ बेंगलोर साइड में, वर्क फ्रॉम होम का। गेम वाले मेरे को आक्स करते हैं कि गेम में जॉब दिला दो, और गेम के बाहर वाले लोग बोलते हैं कि गेम में जॉब दिला दो। आई मीन सॉरी, गेम जो लोग नहीं, क्या बोलते हैं, I mean, जो लोग कॉर्पोरेट में, वो लोग बोल रहे हैं कि गेम में जॉब दिला दो, और कॉर्पोरेट वाले बोल रहे हैं कि, ये गेम वाले बोल रहे हैं कि कॉर्पोरेट में दिला दो। अलग ही लाइफ चल रहा है। हाँ बोल।
আমি একটু আসি, মানে কলেজ থাকছি।
Welcome back to the
ঠিক আছে,
2026
हाँ हाँ
Asian Games Esports
हाँ,
Qualifiers
कॉलेज था
here
कॉलेज
for
था।
the Honor of Kings official event here. My name
আমি
is
ব্রেকফাস্ট
Sagi,
করে
your
আসছি।
guest host for
ओके
today,
ओके,
and
कोड
this
है।
is day one. And with me is our fellow casters of the Gorge, Sir Cloud, and also Holler here. Any advice for Team India after that game one?
I think that they're going to go back to the drawing board and kind of, limit what some of the Vietnamese players like Ling Van was bringing. I think that you need to be very targeted in terms of like ban and also play
कैसा है भाई नवी
strategically, because
मॉर्निंग? बाद
those
में
are the
कॉल
things that
करता
will
हूँ मैं।
really let you shine. Those are the players that are scary and you need an answer for them.
Yeah, and I think that they do have the idea of how to draft and how to play for themselves, but they also have to consider on what might happen on the opposing side as well.
I think so as well. It's never really about planning for yourself. It's also always planning how to equalize out your, like, I would say, like, rough edges.
Yeah.
Because you need to make sure that although you're losing this matchup, it's like a 7-3. You need to make it like a 6-4 to make sure, like, at least you're losing, you're still getting steady goal, maybe make it out a laning phase losing at 200-300 goal. Same thing can be said on the winning matchups here. Once you are given the priority on the drafting phase, you must make sure that you are winning that lane.
Yeah, I actually didn't like it how you said rough edges and you looked directly at me. I was a little offended by that. I don't know if it's really targeted, but I understand what was going on. I do agree with your points as well.
So are you implying we have rough edges?
No. I was saying that you were taking shots at me, and I felt that one. So I'm just saying. That's what I'm here for. That's the only reason I'm here on this one. But again, going into game number 2 of this second series, I think that both of the squads, they got to get rid of the nerves, right? You kind of saw India playing a little scared. They were not really comfortable, and they were playing a very passive game.
That's true, right? So for them,
Yeah,
they have
थोड़ा
to
ज़्यादा ही पैसिव चल रहा था. I don't know why.
of course, we have to
While match, I
also
just
remind our viewers
texted
of
Candy.
the upcoming patch for the Honor of
गलत है
Kings
भाई,
official
बहुत ही
server
गलत
that
बंदा
will
हूँ
be
मैं.
dropping here on the 17th of June. Massive wave of updates awaits you because this grand venture is the biggest update of the year, which will be coming soon on June 17th. So mark your calendars and make sure to log in.
Glasses
I can't wait to try out the
में
new
ही अच्छा
update,
दिखता है
right?
हम.
Like a lot of fans have been waiting for this moment, for this update. So yeah,
Glassman.
let's see how that one goes.
Yeah, I think they are definitely removing spriteling skills, and then they are adding like a treasure digging feature.
Oh, yeah, I saw
So
that
that's
one,
definitely gonna
yeah.
be like a lot of updates coming in on the June 17th, along with like new heroes here. But that's for the official server here. But do talk to me a bit of the upcoming matchup here coming in of this series number 2.
You gotta have two dark horses, I would say. I think that both of these squads, there's not a lot of data and information in terms of what they like to play, how they draft, all of those things, which you kind of want when you're talking about doing a little bit of scouting on some of the other squads. Like the other one, India, we knew, right? Vietnam, we knew, right? But I think that these two teams, Kyrgyzstan and of course Nepal, there's like not as much, I would say, out there.
Yeah, I think you have a little bit more for Team Nepal.
Yeah.
But for Team Kyrgyzstan, not that much.
Yeah, exactly, right? So with limited information, the only way to find out is to actually play it on stage to see how far these two teams can actually go. But without further ado, let's check out the team teaser videos coming in for Kyrgyzstan and also Nepal. Let's check out the big screen.
Team surrounded by mystery, with no past record to define them, no expectations to limit them. Their unpredictable strategies and fearless approach make them one of the unknown threats in this tournament. please welcome to the arena, Kyrgyzstan!
They are no strangers to pressure, representing their region with pride,
Oh,
armed
Nepal.
with experience and an unbreakable fighting spirit. They are here with one mission: victory. Make some noise, Nepal!
बढ़िया. Nepal people also knows
There you have it,
us.
dear folks. Two teams with one mission. Make it out of their groups and aim for the main event. This is Kyrgyzstan versus Nepal, our second series of day one of the 2026 Asian Games Esports Qualifiers for Honor of Kings. Let's get to the game.
We're going to see the first lineup. Kyrgyzstan is going to be up here. It's going to be Jamovic, Dansan, Kubanich, Azad, and of course Marlin to kind of round out this team. This is a squad that, again, we don't really know too much, but that could be very beneficial for them.
Yeah, like if you're coming in here as a team that you don't put out much data out there, right? So that could be an advantage to you as well. So right now we don't really know, like, okay, what kind of gameplay are they gonna put on? What kind of draft do they really like? So it's like a Pandora box here.
Yeah, it's like a double-edged sword. It's more of how you utilize those hidden strats to surprise your opponents with that hidden attack, right? But same could be said for Nepal because they do have limited resources, information available for the opponents here.
Yeah, they do have some valuable experience here, represented by Shushank, Swastik, BJ, Shusil, and Suyong. So these players, they do have some level of experience, so there could be some level of expectation for how they're going to perform later on. But then again, you're going up against Kyrgyzstan that you have no idea how they're going to do.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at Shushank and, of course, BJ. They played on Our Esports, which was 7th place in KML 2026. So we've definitely seen them. We saw Swastik playing on True Rippers. And, of course, Suyong, he was playing for Seoul Esports, which was 2nd place in the India qualifier.
Which all these are valuable information here coming in for the both teams, especially that you can dive deep into their hero pools, find out what they're used to, especially with the Honor of Kings Asian Games version here. Yes, we have 85 heroes, which makes it more of a concentrated drafting here. You need to make sure that these specific strong heroes, your players knows how to play them.
Yeah,
Playing together, right? That's the other piece, right?
Correct.
It's one thing that these guys have been kind of on different teams, and a lot of other regions have been doing that as well, where they've kind of, taken a team that's, from all over, right? So to have them to sit together and to play and to kind of use that one hive mind to ensure that they're on the same page is going to be key into this one.
now Team Nepal, they chose the blue side. That means they're going to get the first pick. So the pressure will be onto Kyrgyzstan on whether they think it's going to be worthwhile to ban out the Dolia or not.
And it's a regional tournament here, as we alluded to in the previous
Nepal people
games
are
itself. We did
are
mention
very
that
good, bro.
different
They're
regions
pretty good
have
because
different metas here. They have different playstyles and comfort picks, which proves to the world that they are special in their own way here. So I'm still excited to see in this second game, are we going back to basics here, copying Vietnam style in game one, or are we drafting towards our own capability to try and win out our opponents?
I'm going to say that they are already special, right? They're all of them. Like showing up here,
Right.
representing their region. I think that this is a huge honor for these players, and to ensure that they're kind of, doing their region proudly. I think that there's a lot to say on that, and to be at this level where, again, you're able to kind of proudly represent the region is a huge honor for all of them.
Now, what we do know about Nepal's approach is that they have a very structured approach to their gameplay, right? So you have
Sakir hai kya?
means that you have understanding of how you're gonna play. But from what we learned from the first game today is that it's not only about how you play it, it's also about like how your opponents will play it, how you might be countered by your opponent. So
Yeah,
there's a lot of consideration and a lot of adaptation that Nepal will need to put out.
Yeah, talking about adaptation here, it always starts from the draft here. If you can strategically place a draft as a team and a coach for your team going into a first game, you technically set up a good foot coming into a important series here, which stabilizes your placing in your respective group.
Winning that first game is just so key, right? And being able to kind of put the pressure on. A lot of teams will crumble and they fold under that, right? Where they're not able to play their game and they haven't had that experience of being behind. They might be the best in their region, but are they able to overcome when they're down maybe a game or two?
Well, you may only need to find out through checking out the draft as your first pick here. So Nepal banning away the Dolia and Liang, those two roamers are out of the equation here, and Kyrgyzstan locking away the Ata that was fantastic coming in from Team Vietnam's Bao Huang in that game 1 and game 2. And with that Maestro Nui as well, those will be locked away. So what will Nepal pick as their first pick?
As a roam player, it looks like they're targeting, Nepal is targeting the Dolia and the Liang. Both, power picks, I would say. They're very annoying to deal with. They're able to kind of get you that pick off, and they dictate a lot of how they want to play. But does this mean that they're going to kind of open things up? Like, what are your thoughts on that, Sir Cloud?
I was kind of surprised that the Dolia was banned out by Nepal when they had the first big advantage. I thought that it would be better to leave that potential ban towards Kyrgyzstan so that they are forced to use one of their bans, but okay, they probably have something
नेपाल
else on top
नेपाल
of their mind. But
का
picking up the channels
opponents
will allow them to
थोड़ा
play
सा
very fast-paced gameplay.
थोड़ा सा
And the Zhangfei,
वो
well, I
है
think
क्या
it's going
बोलते
to
हैं
be one of
उसको
the staple picks here in this
उतना
tournament.
hard
First of
नहीं
all,
है like
Channel is one of the best
Kazakhstan
spots
are
in this
not that
qualifier
much
as well.
I
Strong
feel
laning phase and very consistent
but
DPS coming into the late game when you have like the forceful
yeah
items, Eternity, Shadow Ripper, and the Daybreaker here. And picking up the Zhangfei, one of the best protectors here in the roamer pool that also simultaneously has the engage potential here. And for the side of Kyrgyzstan here, you can see a very aggressive approach. The Yuan that we talked about here, flexing it towards the roam roll and the Ukyo Tachibana to kick off the early game for the jungle.
हाँ
Right, they've picked the Yuan from Kyrgyzstan.
कॉलर नहीं है
100%
चीजों के
already in the Asia Games qualifier. Should we just, move on to game 2 at this point?
हाँ
Well, I guess it's also down to execution.
नेपाल
right?
नेपाल
Once
versus
picking
कुर्सी
it, yes, but then
कुर्गिस्तान
it's
something
also
that
down to how
that I
they
second देखी
play it inside the game later on. But it's also the first time that we're going to see the channel, right? I do totally agree that with this patch, the channel is really, really strong. Not only in terms of team fights, but also able to take down towers really fast.
Yeah, that's true. And the dominant laning phase coming in from Chano will be a strong factor coming in from Nepal to actually dominate
Data though I
the
don't
early
know
game against Kyrgyzstan here. But I'm loving the Lady Sun trying to equalize the laning phase coming in from Kyrgyzstan's farm laning here. That could be a potential close one.
नेपाल ভালো খেলবে নেপালের অপোনেন্ট অতটাও খারাপ না ঠিক আছে
Set it off with damage, right? And on the other side, Nepal, they're going to go with a Byron, a very strong clash runner. That's going to be annoying to deal with if you're Kyrgyzstan. And they're going
দাঁড়া
to
আমি
be
একটা ছেলে
so it's going to be
আমি একটা
either
ছেলেকে অ্যাড
jungle
করি দাঁড়া
fatigue.
It will be a jungle fatigue here. So coming
কোথায়
in
অ্যাড
from
করে
the
লাভ
Nepal
নেই
squad, yes, we did mention that Social will be on first on that channel, giving him a very strong early game and a late game, but they're not banking on a single carry. They're leaving on that Xiao Qiao
Huh?
will also be one of the potential damage dealers here, and that Byron
Yeah,
to
yeah.
sustain that early game. So I'm pretty comfortable with Nepal's draft in this game. One is looking
They're gonna
really
use
Ooh, by picking up the Lubu. Okay, so now I'm kind of wondering, right? Like, will this Lubu one focus a little bit more on the defensive side? Like, yes, the Lubu has the potential of giving out a lot of damage, but then again, if you kind of think
yeah.
about it, Kyrgyzstan, they don't have an alternative to who can be the frontliner, who can absorb damage. I was kind of thinking along the lines of putting up something more durable, but that doesn't seem to be, so I'm kind of worried for the ladies.
So you're picking up the Lubu here for that true damage, right?
Lubu.
The Byron,
নেপালের টিম ভালো আছে ভাই
have a ton of shields. You got to get through that, right? So it kind of makes sense. But the reason why the Lubu generally don't do well is because the Tremble Mortals kind of understand where it's going to be. You just step out of the arena and you're going to have a much better time. And a lot of the teams, the high-level players, are able to kind of navigate that a lot.
Yeah, and for myself, in this Lulu pick, I kind of view it as also a
yeah
answer here. The moment Sushil or BJ sees that ultimate, they have to pay the flashbacks here. But one way to find out whether this Lubu actually works out here for Team Nepal or Team Kyrgyzstan here is to step into the gorge and find out in our game 2 of the day.
Right. So I'm kind of having this thought that the Lubu pick is actually a false pick, right? Just because Team Nepal they have 3 very durable heroes. You have the Fatih to deal with. You have the Byron, you have the Zhangfei as well, and the Zhangfei with the heal. So the Lubu pick
Yeah.
is like, okay, we have
Strategy
to
are different,
through these 3 heroes to get to the channel. So it could be a false pick. And false picks are
ইন্ডিয়ার
necessary.
বেসিক না বেসিক
Not the
একদম
best.
স্ট্র্যাটেজি
So
আই
it
ডোন্ট নো
really
ক্রাউলি
comes
কেন
back to,
আসলো না
Zamovex, how
Crowley
familiar
might
is he
be
with it? Is he able to just
afterward.
play it to that high level? Because again, if he's able to kind of stay alive, get the perfect Tremble Mortals, he could really change the game.
Yeah, the Tremble model is definitely going to play a big role here. Because if you kind of think about it, right? Like, what other big engagements do they have? And but like what you said as well, the tremor model, because there's an animation about a second or a second and a half that will allow Team Nepal to step out of the tremor model circle. And
একটা গুড
to a certain extent, it's not that difficult for
আমি
them
দুটো
because he
দাও
has channel, he does have the extra move speed depending on the pushes as well.
আমি
So
বুঝি না ওই বেঙ্গলি মাগুলো
can
কেন
Team
এরকম এত খাবার দেয় ব্যায়াম
They have the possibility. It's all about execution on this one. But I mean, just at a high level, we probably should have done this about a minute and 30 seconds ago. But like Sir Cloud, which of these two teams has the edge going in?
Ooh, I'm kind of liking the setup for Team Nepal because you have a lot of protection for the channel. Channel will get the free hits in.
Yeah.
And even if Team Kyrgyzstan, they set up in the treble model, I mean, Team Nepal right now, they're so durable. And if you think about it, if it goes to the very late game, the Pirates will be hard to take down.
It's going to be tough. And I think that he's going to be an issue. Swastik, once he gets going, he's going to do a lot of damage. Well, so it really comes back to BJ and Suyong to ensure that the crowd control is there so that the rest of them can kind of steamroll the rest of Kyrgyzstan.
Yeah, and right now, Team Nepal, they are putting the heat towards Team Kyrgyzstan. They've been playing this aggressively, trying to get the Armadillo on the bottom as well. So Kyrgyzstan, it kind of reminds me of how India was during the first game, right? Like, they allow Team Nepal to
তুমি কারা মনে হচ্ছে জিতবে
you're going to give up a little something, right? I think that they're going to be fine, considering that they've already
আমারও মনে হচ্ছে নেপাল জিতবে
they're going to be okay with that, because then Nepal are on a scouting mission, they're walking around, they're not farming, right? So they're wasting a little bit of time. Not the worst thing, and if you're looking at the network, again, both of these two teams really testing it out in this game one.
And because of that as well, maybe
Yeah.
kind of pull the brakes here a little bit. Or they're just waiting for the first objectives to arise. We are about less than a minute towards the first objectives. And looks like Team Kyrgyzstan is kind of really down there.
It's going to come back to just like which of these two teams blink first. Right? Like nobody wants to make a mistake. Nobody wants to give the edge. They're going to
Depends, coach.
slow and steady. Like just set the tone. You don't know how the other team is going to respond, so you don't want to be throwing anything away.
All right, I'm trying to think of the winning condition here for Kyrgyzstan, right? Okay, is to get the tremble models in, but to get the tremble models in, they have to try to draw a few skills or dashes away from.
এসব আসলে মজা হতো
If you're seeing exactly that,
মালটাকে
is
চাটতাম
really
তুই আর আমি
gonna do
মিলে
a little bit of work. Just everybody gets on out, and now
খেলতে
Marlon has to
পারি
be a little bit careful. Does not have that ult. He used it earlier.
হ্যাঁ
The U from the first series of the day where it was all nothing but the U1.
Yeah, right now, not really doing himself a favor because he does not have the melody. When the Pirates are out, hard for them to engage this one. And Kyrgyzstan,
কোনটা এই যে বাটারফ্লাই যেটা
Kyrgyzstan and they're split up here. We know they're not going to be able to
Oh.
get that one. They
Oh,
just focus
Angela,
on
yeah.
farming either in the jungle or the lane.
Yeah, and this might not be great for them. Marlon gets his unending sorrow. He's just going to be backing up. And that's what he wants to be doing. He wants to be, creating or getting vision, seeing where they're going, maybe bait out a couple of spells here and there, and just kind of out-healing through it.
Yeah, and we can see that Team Nepal, they have the confidence right now. Here comes up right now burst, but nobody's going to engage from that sort of position because the tower is still very active and the minions are almost done.
Yeah, but they try to stack it. I mean, it was a very aggressive attempt. Fruitless in the end, but they got the unending sorrow into the honey sweet breeze. You're going to probably see that one-two combination quite a bit in this one to set things up for the rest of the team fight to happen.
Yeah.
I personally would have kept the Unbridled Outburst for a bigger moment, but maybe they were just like, okay, we just want to try to inflict fear on the opponent. Sometimes it's about the mind games as well, if you think about it.
Okay, that's just because you're a Zhang Fei main. I think Suyong should be taking some notes from Cloud. Maybe you should be on stage playing, huh?
Yeah, if only it's only Zhang Fei. if only the rule says you cannot ban the Zhang Fei.
And only you can pick it, and you would just pick it every single time.
দেখ ওটা কিন্তু ভালো ফাইট দিচ্ছে ঠিক আছে
And now, if we're looking at this one, both of these squads very close. Nobody's really willing to.
নেপালের প্লেয়ারগুলোর নাম দেখ
Yeah, even the goal difference as well. Like, okay, I don't
সুশীল বিজয়
losing ground, but in terms of
সুশাঙ্ক
keeping pace,
স্বাস্তিক
at some point they have a
সুয়োগো
advantage towards Team Nepal. So now it's about what
নেপাল জিতে যাবে দেখ নেপালের
I guess the
টিম না আমি আই ডোন্ট নো
makes the first engagement
এরা
always
কি
come
করে
down to victory.
করছে ঠিক আছে
Yeah, and also looking at Swastik,
India have a much
once
better,
he's hitting a couple, once he's comfortable,
coach.
he's able to kind of leave the jungle because it
Dubai
seems like
coach.
now is the time they were trying to take out Marlon using the unending sorrow, dodging this again.
Yeah, he has to use that one, right? Like, he has no choice. If not, he would have been gone there. No first strike yet by either side. This is so far the longest wait for the first strike. We can't think about it. It just shows the level of respect that the two sides have for each other.
Yeah, not able to find that right pickoff. They just have a lot of sustain. They're able to kind of navigate through some of the punches that are being thrown their way, dodging things out, and again, just looking for a very good mid game.
Right now, Team Nepal, they have the option to go for the Overlord right now. But they're not really going for it. It kind of feels like, okay, they want to take down a lane, but then again, Team Kyrgyzstan, they're still holding down to those lanes, so Team Nepal, they don't really have an opening. I would say that perhaps the best right now is for them to try something different, maybe to try to go for the Overlord, because there's a lot of time and space given by Kyrgyzstan.
But if anything, Nepal are looking to kind of maybe get some sort of ambush. But Kyrgyzstan has not fallen into any trap. They've played very stock standard, very, close to the vest and comfortable. But now they're looking to go in. The flash away, not enough.
Oh,
He does
nice.
not get the
Next
rolling
match.
blade back under the tower. But Marlon taking most of this
Hello?
one. The leader stance was popped as well. Everything
Napper
in the
West
kitchen
interesting,
thrown
bro.
at Kyrgyzstan, but no picks.
Oh, here comes Shushank as well. Looks like they really want to take down the bottom tower.
Yeah, they're looking to go Shushank. He's going to flash on forward. Fine,
Nice one.
first strike.
Oh bhai.
Wow,
Nepal
that
is
beautiful flash forward there.
ভালো খেলছে।
Not only they took down the tower, but they
আমাদেরকে এদেরকে
as well.
having best player me
Beautifully
too
executed
ভাই।
by Nepal. And Kyrgyzstan didn't expect
Maybe-
that one because that rotation was so fast.
Yeah, and they survived the first strike, right? The first attempt, the onslaught that was trying to go in, and they thought they were safe. They hit under the tower, but it was just not enough for the second one when Shushank decides to go ham under it.
Okay, the big one here is that if Team Nepal is able to get the middle tower, that middle tower, if they're able to take that one down, they will have big access into the jungle side of Kyrgyzstan. But looks like they're going to shift their attention away towards the clash, which is absolutely fine because at some point it was really crowded in the middle. But because they shifted attention away, then it opened up a little bit of space. Now, right now, Kyrgyzstan, they're pretty much playing,
saw.
if you kind of think about it, they're playing with the tempo of Team Nepal.
Yeah, Nepal has turned it up, right? That first strike in the bottom and then turning this around. I mean, yeah, you were talking about the mid T1 being the most important, but you have to kind of go on the outside. You have to, direct them. Maybe it's a little bit of a fake out, if you will, to open things up in that mid lane. But with that outside push, they were able to kind of take the tyrant here by Kyrgyzstan.
Right now, back into focusing onto the middle. They really want this middle tower. Okay, so Kyrgyzstan, they're grouped up right now. So this is a signal that they could engage. And when Team Nepal, they see Kyrgyzstan grouping up, especially with Lubu there, that's where they start to not get together.
Yeah, and they're kind of close on this one. If they want to fight, Marlon is probably not the right target that you're looking to go. But again, something to take note of. Kubanich is actually, he had to expend his flash just to stay alive. He is a very immobile hero. If he were to get caught out, he is definitely an easy picking.
Okay, so right now, looks like Kyrgyzstan, okay, we have not seen really Kyrgyzstan really pushing it yet, right? Even though the goal difference is like minute, it's small, it's about 300 goal difference, but it feels like they're just playing the farming game right now. I wonder, are they setting themselves up for the late game?
Of course, of course. I mean, unless you're trying to go for some sort of pickoff, and we haven't seen Kyrgyzstan turn. Okay, gets the unending sorrow. He does get on back into safety, but he needs to be a little bit careful. But Kyrgyzstan have not grown grouped up and attempted any sort of gank. They've been very reactive, and that's going to open things up for this mid T1 here.
Oh, okay, but if you kind of think about it, right, besides the tremble model, they don't have much options here to re-engage. Maybe Marlon, but he has to be able to hit this one. And the range sometimes is a little bit far, right, for his teammates to follow up. So Kyrgyzstan, we did talk about this during the drafting phase. Yes, they're very dependent on the Lubu, but if the Lubu doesn't engage, they don't have any other options.
Not too much, but also it feels bad, man, when you're looking to kind of go with the Tremble Mortals as that first
No, Nepal gonna win
initiation.
this
I
game,
kind of
bro.
think Kumanich is kind of the guy. He's got to hit that Chaos Center to get a stun, attract, and initiate that team fight, and then you have the Tremble Mortals on top. That would be best
Hello,
case
babe.
scenario, though.
Okay, and still, again, Nepal is just really pushing it back.
Oh,
And
they'll
here
call
comes-
out first with the pushback. The Tremble Mortals used in return. The Honey Sweet freeze on the side, and they find Kubanich, and they find Marlon as well under the tower. Azad is going to be taken down as well, and they've taken down 4 members. Jamovek is the only one left standing.
Okay, in comparison, right, the Umbrella Albus is a better engagement skill as compared to the tremble model, way better. And we saw that earlier on. The moment he lands the Umbrella Albus, the stun is really, really long, and now they're going in for it.
Oh, the Tumbleback, no chance, just getting run down. Swastik has hit that moment, and it looks like Nepal have done it. They found the way, the avenue off of the ace, and they will take game
কাচ্ছি
number
এখন
one
একটু
here.
ফান করে
And
কিছু
one
জায়গায়
fight
তাড়াইনি
is
yeah
all
exactly
it takes for Team Nepal to close the game and take home the first victory.
It was looking pretty 50-50 in the early stages of the games between Kyrgyzstan and also Nepal. Goldie was neck and neck. Kill out takedown score-wise was only.
अबे नेपाल जीत गया भाई फर्स्ट मैच
But
what the fuck
one team fight from that one unbridled out.
साकिर अबे साले माइक ओपन कर
To seal the deal for this game one here. So props to Nepal. Clean game thus far. For me, their rotation as a team is, for this game itself, much cleaner compared to Kyrgyzstan.
Oh, incredibly clean. That was the biggest piece to this one, was that they were able to understand when they hit that item point, and they were able to kind of use that advantage to take over this game. Because again, it was like one team fight, they just won the game.
Yes, and it kind of shows that the kind of skill that they're ready for, especially the Umbrella Albus, it is key to win the victory. As compared to Kyrgyzstan, they have the Tremor
Type
model,
করতে
and
পারছি
how
না
it was used is that, okay, Umbrella Albus goes out first. The idea for them is that Tremor model is used as a counter engage, but in their kind of setup, it's not really a good counter engage if you ask me.
Well, in
Wow.
their planning here, if I
my
were to
girl
envision
explaining
what
me
Team Kyrgyzstan was
Nice.
trying to plan out regarding the Lubu pick, in hindsight, it seems like a logical pick because number one, Lubu's true damage goes through double shield coming in from iRON and the Zhangfei. But
Yo,
in
Venom,
terms
what's
of
up?
the late game, number two, Xiao
How
Qiao
are
and
you?
also the Chano coming in from Team Nepal, they don't have solid mobility to actually escape from a tremble mortal if their flash is on cooldown. If this game were to per se go into a 15 to 16 minute mark, then maybe Team Kyrgyzstan could win big with the Lubu.
They had their opportunities, right? I think that especially
कभी
when
कभी
things were
बेच जाती हूँ कभी
close,
हंसी आ जाए
it was going to be a moment, like it made sense on paper.
नेपाल पता था
all
इन लोग
about
जीत
the
जाएगा to
coordination
be
and
honest
the
1-0 भाई
execution.
सीधा
You're
स्कोर
seeing some of the KDAs here, and there's not a single
तो
KO
वेनम
to
कौन सा वाला वेनम है
Kyrgyzstan's,
फीफा
might,
वाला और
and that was a
पोकेमॉन
bit of a
यूनाइट
rough one for them.
Yeah, but if you kind of think about it, right? How are you going to drag the game to the late game if you're Kyrgyzstan, right? Then you're going up against Chano, you have to deal with the wolves, you have to deal with Byron, who's very
Lot of things
sustained
are there,
on the
actually.
lane and able to push independently. So it's going to be really, really tough to
I don't think so.
to that.
लाइक ओपोनेंट का जो मेज लिया था इन लोग के अगेंस्ट वो अच्छा था टू बी ऑनेस्ट दिस काइंड ऑफ अ लॉरिया लोग का कॉर्ड गाइस और इरिना वैलोर का जो कॉर्ड था उस टाइप का हीरो है तो उसका डैश ये लेके कुछ फायदा नहीं है I सामने जाके वो एक ही स्टन मारेगा एक स्टन और फर्स्ट किल में ही खत्म हो जाएगा
But when you're kind of been getting pushed by Nepal, and yes, he's getting all the farm, what about everybody else? Everybody else was suffering.
Vijay was
Like,
playing
if you're
good,
looking at the
actually. He's
Nepal side,
playing
it's like
mid-lane
the
good.
net worth was kind of closer, and you're seeing a better spread out, a disparity of the gold within the team itself. I mean, Chano, like Sushil, look at him.
They
versus
should mention
Swastik,
their
like,
Indian
those guys
names,
were
like-
like neck and neck on their own team. You need a little bit more of that economic prosperity across the team.
Yeah, if you kind of think about it overall as well, like for Kyrgyzstan, they didn't really dictate the pace, right? Like they had to play the pace against Team Nepal, who set the tone of this game. So
Or-
from what we learned today so far, right, is that you have to be the one to dictate the pace. If you're not able to, and if you're forced to back, then you have to find a way to just
बोल
work around it.
I think they are on the passive approach, as we can see.
वो सरेंडर किया ना मेरे को वही लगा
Which is
Yeah.
not the best of the news here coming in from Pakistan. Want key members like Dastan or Azam,
Yeah.
those strong early game picks.
Yeah, to be honest,
can force
ওদের
damage
যে কটা মেজ ছিল ঠিক আছে
against Sushil,
ভাগ
against BJ.
আমি ঠিক করে করবো यार
How approaches here because in that game itself, yes, we do see Kyrgyzstan matching goal, but
गेम इज ओवर
they
यस
need to passive in a sense. They need to
हाँ,
be
की
more
बोलছিস?
aggressive and more streamlined with their plays.
Yeah, they need to take advantage of
अबे जोर से बोल
the skills and abilities that they have. Right? I mean, you were talking about the network, like really close.
আমার বউ এটা
We're like, oh, do these guys even want to play? Like, do they want to fight. Like, what's going on? Because like they were playing very
क्यों
passively. They were just like Farm Simulator, right? And towards the end, once that moment, that
हाँ
team
उठाई
fight, that kickoff, the first strike, once that happened, everything changed, and you saw the gas just being pushed down by Nepal. They were able to turn things up.
हाँ
And there was only like 6 takedowns here in the entire game. So
Correct.
that last team fight there
सच
was
बोलेगा तब भी मारेगा भाई देख ले
almost all the takedowns here. Just
আরে
Yeah.
না না ব্যাপারটা
Number
হচ্ছে
one, first strike is
ওদের
from early game
এইচপি
from
লেনারটা
about
হেগে দিয়েছে ঠিক আছে
6 minutes or so.
নেপাল ভালো
And then
খেলবে
that
यार
beautiful and brighter outburst coming
নেপাল
in
ইজ
from
মাচ
Thomas
বেটার
Former that
টিম
really sealed the deal.
এই কম্পিটিশনে
0-5 exchange in favor of Nepal in getting that 11 to almost 12-minute victory for Team Nepal.
It's like you blink and you miss it. Right?
Exactly.
Once you hit
तो उधर
that
देख
moment, it was just like they
पॉइंट
were
रेशियो डैमेज
they
रेशियो तो
were
देख
able to just steamroll the.
Participation here from Suyok, 105 on the KDA with almost 40% damage taken on this Zhangfei pick. Definitely the MVP of this game one.
After this series, Sir Cloud, I want you to talk to Su Young because you were giving him some tips, but he doesn't need your tips. He's the MVP.
ওই এমবি কি করে পেলো বে
what are you talking about? He looks like me.
Oh.
I didn't know. I didn't know.
Imagine my picture there with the Zhangfei behind. Yeah.
you're, you're living vicariously through him. I get it. I get it.
But of course, this is still game one. We still see signs of life coming in from Kyrgyzstan.
ম্যাচ বেরিয়ে গেলে এসে সবাই চলে যাচ্ছে
Potentially shifting their gears from a more passive approach to more aggressive
Because
one,
of me.
so far, every single play has been commenced on the Nepal side. So for Kyrgyzstan to make a bounce back is to make more of a riskier play, put some stakes on the line.
I'm like execution definitely. There are probably some moments. This is really hard to tell because it was like losing that team fight. You get your team wiped out. You just get completely steamrolled, right? So
भाई
I
टीम
don't
तो
wanna
वाइप्ड
say it's
आउट
like
होएनी आई
one
डोंट नो व्हाई
mistake
दे आर
that got you,
कॉलिंग
but
अगेन
for
एंड अगेन
me,
दिस
it's kind of going back to the draft. I feel like the draft was just a little lacking. It was more of kind of like, oh, they're picking that hero. I'm gonna counter pick. It wasn't about the synergy.
Yeah, and we did talk about this, right? Was Lubu a force pick? So if you're
yeah,
force pick,
yeah.
then sometimes you might wonder, like, okay, are you comfortable playing this hero in the first place? Does it suit your team chemistry that you have practiced? So if you're forced into this
इंडियन टीम
situation,
में একটু আগে স্ক্রল করো
when it comes to
একটু
the
আগে
draft,
যাও
your opponent has won it.
ওখানে
Seems
দেখতে
like the
পারবে
first two series thus far that we are having here between India, Vietnam, and also Nepal.
পেছনে যাও ওরা ইন্ডিয়া টিম হেরে গেছে
Seems to
2-0
be
হেরেছে
a
আমাদেরই সব
a
বন্ধুরা
mixed
খেলছে
I would say, or maybe we haven't seen to a level of completion.
ওরা
some of
খেলছে
these
আর আমি
teams.
ওকে
I did
হোয়াটসঅ্যাপে
mention,
ডিএম করছি
yes,
ভাই
we
कैसा
should
खेल रहा है भाई टट्टी जैसा
strategically and by the description of the hero itself, yes, it pierces through shield, which is beneficial. But
Yeah.
for that to actually happen, you need so much gold
लाइक
for this
इंडिया
team
टीम ऑलरेडी
to actually
खेल चुका है
make it
मैचेस
happen in the late game.
थोड़ा
And there's
लाइव स्ट्रीम
finding
टाके একটু
gold
পেছনে করো
on their board here for Honor of Kings. So for them to actually find a way, they definitely need to strategically
Wait, hello,
push the
Sumaya.
game to a later stage for teams who want to pick up a new ball.
It's kind of like false advertising.
By the way, if you're
Right?
new
You're
then
looking
guys
at
please
one feature of
download
Lubu and you're
HOK,
thinking,
link in
true
description
damage, I
below
just go right through those shields, but then the rest
And
of it, it's like, oh yeah, but he's not like
join
he's got a
HOK
terrible
Studio
engine,
also,
he
link
doesn't
in
know understand what it needs to be.
bio.
Like level 12, you need
अरे
like
comment print है
perfect weather, everything. Yeah.
साकिर एक बार देख तो comment print
everything
check
to
করছে
align
কিনা
properly for this hero to really excel. And again, we've seen it twice now.
ইন্ডিয়া টিমে ভালো
I
খেলে
want to add one more point.
R&D
So the
scouted
Lubu Super League
বাকি
also
টিমে
has
খেলছে ওরা সবাই
ladies
মোস্টলি
here. Even the ladies soon as well.
Hmm.
Needs to farm, needs
True.
to be ultra late game. So they are thinking of like, okay, if this game drags to, I don't know, 20 minutes, then yeah, it might work out in their favor. But from what we learned today, you have to be able to have that option to play this. A
kind
lot
of kind
faster.
of
Yeah, and we do have to give us a bit of a sponsor shout out as well to our official
চারটে
sponsor here, which is Marriott Pataling
চারটে
Jaya.
করে প্রত্যেকটা টিমের
Us
ম্যাচ টোটাল
players,
আটখানা
everybody right now is in
Round of
Pataling
four.
Jaya here. It's the official venue and hotel partner.
কালকে
of the
ম্যাচ আছে
Central
ইন্ডিয়া
Asian Games
আপনার
Esports
দেন মঙ্গলবার আবার
Honor
বুধবার
of Kings. We bid our gratitude
চারটে
to
বাজে আমাকে
Marriott
স্ট্রিম করতে
Pataling
হবে
Jaya. Thank you so much for sponsoring this event.
Yeah, thank you so much. And of course, thank you for allowing Lubu to use his Tremble Mortals in the hotel. I think that that's a big honor. for
इंडिया
him. Not so much in the games. I don't think that they have had
इंडिया के पास अभी
time.
और
Let's see exactly
हाँ,
how they want to
क्या हुआ
shift away from that, especially in games.
I think to start things
Oh,
off,
अच्छा,
right, like
हाँ.
Mr. Cloud mentioned here, coming in for the
ওকে ওকে
yes, strategically speaking, that one Lubu is
না না আমার কাছে রুলস নেই আমি খেলতে পারবো না
But if you view it as a team composition wise, you need
Maybe I can't
something
pause
more
the stream
solid
while
with more room of
while the-
maneuver. Well, you can say that sure, Yuan does have the spell to
এই ম্যাচটাও জিতে যাবে নেপাল আমি আই এম শিওর
engages here, but
I mean,
it's
I don't know
not
why
as
they are
solid
surrendering
as
this
some
game.
play or
No,
Lapu that has like the
পয়েন্ট নেই না
all in
পয়েন্ট
pressure.
ফাইট করে টুর্নামেন্টে
And I'm
চারিটা
looking
কিছু
at
মানে
the
ভাবছি
side selection, right? So
সেটাই তো
Kyrgyzstan
এটা দ্যাট
on
ওয়াজ
the
ভেরি
win side,
ইম্প্রেস
Team Nepal's going for the
moment.
first side. So that means that team
আমি তো আজ রাত্রেবেলা ক্যান্ডিকে টেক্সট করবো,
now
বলবো ভাই কি
we're
হাগছিস ভাই।
finally your first draft, right? I was kind of like,
বল
you're winning
আমাদের
the first
দুজনের
game,
লাইন
but
লাগিয়ে দে, বল
you're
ভাই
out the door
थोड़ा सा
yet.
ऐसा
So
ক্লাউডি কেন খেললো না আমি তো ওটা বুঝতে পারলাম না।
to Kyrgyzstan to see
अरे
where
अकेला
they
की
want
हाल है
to
এটা होगा ভাই, ওটা
go.
बीजीएमआई थोड़ी है,
Kind of
वो
look at
टेस्ट
Dolia
করে দেবে
as that. If
এখানে।
you're gonna ban it out, you're just
हाँ।
not comfortable on it. Right? Because it adds so much. It's like, why would you ever take something away where you force the red side to ban it out and to allow it to go into your hands. Somebody needs to be a maestro.
तो मैच स्टार्ट हो रहा है, लोग आ रहे हैं
Smart
पीछे।
way to approach it, right? If let's say you really don't want to play the Dolia or it's not in your drafting mode, then sure, you have to ban it out and make sure that the enemy doesn't pick it up. And once again, the pile is back on towards the blue side, banning out the Dolia and Ram. If it works, don't break it apart. And they still lock in the channel here. For Kyrgyzstan, they're like, okay, that Zhang Fuyo, that was beast mode. You gotta lock it away. And that's removed. And so far, the Maestro doing this
Yeah.
well. More BJ won't be available.
আরে ওরা ফার্স্ট পিক যদি জঙ্গল তুলছে, ঠিক
Okay,
আছে।
so if it's Zhang
Yeah.
banned out, so
EXP, right?
on
Let's go.
paper, Lapu Lapu, let's go. We have not seen the Lapu.
Yeah, correct.
yet.
Yeah.
Yep. Or maybe it could be like the Lampo.
Yep. So far, those two picks are the mentioned ones here, and Kyrgyzstan has locked into Fatih and also the Liampo here at two. So this is still pretty flexible. Some teams
क्या हो रहा है?
put the Liampo in the flash lane as a more defensive route, so you can have
তো বিজয় মিড লেন নেবে, আই ডোন্ট নো, এখনো সিলেক্টেড না।
Aslan or Azad as the primary carries.
Very good 1-2 combination. This is the thing when you're looking to set up drafts, especially
Yeah, yeah.
in this format where there's no global ban pick.
কমেন্টেড টু ইন্টারঅ্যাক্ট কর না,
That really
কমেন্টেড টু ইন্টারঅ্যাক্ট কর, হোল্ড অন।
I think that the Fatih Liampo covers a lot of the different boxes that you need to tick.
Yeah, and I like the Fatih Lampo first two picks because they still.
এক সেকেন্ড দাঁড়া, আমি হাতটা ধুয়ে আসছি, হোল্ড অন।
To play it flexibly, right? Because these two heroes, they are able to move into different lanes. Now the Pirate is being picked out again, this time together with the Lapu Lapu. Now Kyrgyzstan, are they going to be forced to pick the Lapu to pick the Lubu again? I don't know. If they're comfortable to play the Lubu, okay, fine. At least this time they have the Lampo to set things up and Lubu to follow up with Trevor Water later.
I think they can still go for the Lubu pick here. It still makes feasible sense. It's still a good lane matchup here, and then we can see over to set Azad on the DRG. It doesn't require as much resource compared to a traditional critical marksman like the Wayne Sun, Hoi, or the Chano per se. You just need like one Spark Forge and a Doomsday, and you can start ramping up in the team fights here. So for Kyrgyzstan, I would say that their Game 2 draft does seem to have a better approach compared to Game 1.
I'm kind of thinking though, like, just stay away from the Lubu, because what we've seen time and time again, at least today, is that the games are very quick, right? Go early game, change the tempo, get yourself into like a game 3 where the game might be extending a little bit. But right now, I still think that it's going to be very fast paced. You're going to get outpaced and you're going to see what happens. You're going to really struggle if you're a little bit.
Okay, hear me out here, guys.
গিরিশ
Lau. Think about
নো
it, right?
নো
So
নো
Lau,
ফর
if
নাও
you want to play a fast
কন্ট্যাক্ট নেই, বাট
Lau
স্টিল আমাকে ফলো করে ইনস্টাতে।
loses his relevance in the game, but if like from the early game to the
কথা
mid
নেই,
game, Lau
কথা
is
টেক্সট
really
করলে তো
strong
অবভিয়াসলি কথা
to
বলবে,
the
কথা
back
না বলে যাবে
and
কোথায়,
take
নুল।
out the channel pretty quick. So as long as you can get past
ওদের
these two
সঙ্গে এবার
big
কথা
tanks
বলবি
in
তুই
front,
ভালো
which
করে,
is
বুঝলি টাকা
Lapu and
দিলে
Pirate,
তবেই ভাই, আগে
maybe
মতো
there could
হবে
be
না।
something.
Yeah, maybe it could be something,
ওখানে
right? You
এই
definitely need
কিছু
to
নেই, সবকিছু আমরা
go
করবো, তুমি
over
শুধু
to
কি
the
করো?
front line.
Yeah, that person is a fucking lawyer, bro.
Shield coming in from Team Nepal.
That was the thing. You can't
Potentially a
go
necessity
against
for
him
Kyrgyzstan might
like
be
this.
beneficial for their take here, but they do go for
ভাই
the
কিন্তু
Utachi
ম্যানেজার
Banner,
ওইসব
which is very
ওরই
strong
আছে
on
ভাই,
the level. We
মানে
did
আমরা
see
খেলে
how
নেবো কিন্তু
Dastan was able to
শিডিউল বানানো ওর
maintain
জিম্মেদারি
that
ভাই,
game one, but
আমরাই সব
how
করবো,
they
যেমন তোর
convert
উপর
that
প্রেশার
goal
দিয়েছিল।
into damage, into ganks,
Corporate,
into
esports is like a corporate.
from Kyrgyzstan in this game too.
Yeah, we know he can farm.
Yes,
Right?
correct.
We know that he's
ভাই
able to keep
এই
pace.
জঙ্গলেরটা কেন যে
He
নিচে
does
লোকের আমি বুঝতে
He
পারছি না ভাই,
ways
আমি
to get in,
সত্যি
but the
বলছি
Ghana
জঙ্গলের অনেক, মানে আমার
this is
অনেক
a
বাজে
nice
লাগে,
little way
এটা
to
নিয়েও
run
এটা
out.
নিয়েও কি বাজ করে দেবে।
Oh man, the gun and bow especially, right? Because of the couple blades, you have to like keep yourselves in a decent distance or try to close up the gap.
Well, লাইটটা জ্বলছে না ভাই।
For Kyrgyzstan, are they able to like really close that gap and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
take down the gun and bow quickly? They don't have that option yet. So
I don't know why they don't take any kind of skill-based mid laners.
Garuda might be an answer here coming in from
Yeah.
Kyrgyzstan's mid
Basic
lane here.
nature.
So far after we observe
এই মেজর খেলা দেখবি, হ্যাঁ এই মেজর মেকানিক্স গুলো দেখবি, সবচেয়ে টাফ হয়, মানে এম অনেক এ করতে হয়, ঠিক আছে? আর দেখবি
once the
কিভাবে
party
খেলা
scales into the mid game, you get 2 to 3 items here. That's where the
Hey,
1v1
to follow the miss
scenario
to
will highly
Nice.
benefit Jamal back in that 1v1 matchup.
Looking at
Team
this
fight
one,
advantage
this
has-
is
বাবা লাইটটা অফ করে দেবে?
the Nako potential burst, right? And then you have the Byron and the
Eh,
Lapu
eh,
Lapu,
Baba,
like
tuh
crowd
maju
controlling and
cocok
making sure that they
jiwa
stay
ini.
alive.
Welcome your maju.
People are going to get eliminated
Baba.
so quickly here.
I worry for the Princess Frost though.
Uday
Like
Shetty
couple
maju
blade
ke
Princess
sini welcome
Frost
ya.
Yeah.
could potentially be a one shot.
Yeah, Uday
Depending
Shetty,
on
yes.
how long this game drags.
Yeah, if you see BJ on that
Uday di
dynamo,
chasma ta
you
senior
gotta be
check ta.
wondering here.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
Azad or Kubanuish
Gue
gets to
puro oi
dodge
senior
away
photo like
those
cheese pie.
couple blades?
Low.
Photo
Will
tu
they
ekbar.
be deadly on targets with
Huh?
the lone mobility coming in from Kyrgyzstan here? But let's hop into game number 2 to see whether or not Team Nepal can pack this up 2-0 clean, or will Kyrgyzstan find an equalizer in this game 2?
Lol.
Masters, let's go.
Thank you so much, Sagi. As we go into this one, I mean, Kyrgyzstan need to find a way. This draft, I mean, the Princess Frost was not, I mean, he had to have a mid. He was kind of like filling a role, but it is so vulnerable right now. It is incredibly scary going up against the potential burst. And Jamovek taking a decent amount, gets onto the tower, and it doesn't look
Nice,
like
nice,
cares
nice,
as
nice.
he's going to take first strike here.
Wow, okay, he managed to survive that one. Now at the bottom we can see the couple blades onto Azad. Look at the amount of damage onto Azad. And let's not forget, the couple blades, they are stackable. The longer this game drags on,
Yes, this is good
the
actually.
more damage the couple blades are going to be.
It's going to be a problem, right? So I think that the early game, you don't want to let him get at that farm. Garden Brave is going to be used, pushing him back on this one.
Yeah.
Marlon just trying to stay alive. Azad, these wolves have been hounding him this entire game.
Right now, great start here by Team Nepal. They're playing this with confidence. And I guess this is what happens when you win the first game. It's like automatically you're telling yourself, that, okay, hey guys, now whatever happens in this round, we will still have the next round, or we might just win this one. So you're playing in more relaxed mode. When you're playing in more relaxed mode, this is what you can do. You can just run at your opponent, play underneath the towers a little bit, and make all these risky rotations.
Yeah, it's all about that flow state, right? Once the players are kind of comfortable, I mean, you're talking about game one of just being, you know, comfortable, right? You have that lead, and now is the time to be like, hey, we can chill back, we can put our, you know, feet up on the chair, you know, we can just like traditionally just lounge out because we know we're in a great one.
I can see that Kyrgyzstan, they're trying something different this time.
Kyrgyzstan, अच्छा Kyrgyzstan है. तो opponent भाई को tough पड़े जाए. India first opponent है तो tough पड़ेगा.
Lapu Lapu is able to protect those entrances.
Tough
And
नहीं भाई.
it's hard for
Yeah.
Kyrgyzstan to force. And here they
Yeah, yeah.
they've got them
पूरा रैंक
secured.
मैच एक कॉम्बिनेशन
They're
तो
just doing
लेने
a
में
great job. I mean, the farming, I mean, they've been
Kind
doing
of.
a great job in that sense. But now Kyrgyzstan need to figure out a way to solve this puzzle, right? Nepal has taken the fight to them, has made things a little bit uncomfortable, but it's about finding farm, being efficient,
Yes, yes.
moving across this map.
Yeah, they're really, just look at their golden
Yeah.
So it's time to scale up. Now it's all about Kyrgyzstan trying to turn the tables around. What I can see here is that Amali is doing a great job in a space getting information.
Yeah.
HOK Studio as well. He's a guy, and now he just baited out Marlin.
I mean, he saw Dawson
Yeah.
coming after him, and Theo was just like, I'm just going to back on out of this one. He's like literally walking at him. But there's no catch, and this is the problem of the Kyrgyzstan lineup, is that the stuns are there. Yeah, you have the Imperial Order. Yeah, you have the stuns, but it's not really like a point and click, like, knock him down so that you're able to take him down. Because Labu Labu, Tuyong is going to be a tough one.
Yeah, Marlin was trying to aim it's not the best of idea at this moment,
अच्छा.
right? Especially when you're trying to gain
मास्टरमाइंड नहीं था
you
कि
want to
इसको
try
मैच
to
का
at least
नेगेटिव
get
टेक
this
के ऊपर नहीं लेता वैसे स्टेप का
against mistake or
Mm.
kill, if you're able to push them back and forth,
अरे दे
go
सबसे
back
भालो
and
चांस ছিল
reset,
কারণ ওদের যে
then
মার্কসম্যান ছিল
all
না
the game is pretty much
Yeah.
over.
ওর মোবিলিটি ছিল না ভাই
You're
মানে
seeing a
জঙ্গলের
little
যদি
bit of
চাইতো
a different play style from the
মার্কসম্যানটাকে তুলতে
Kyrgyzstan
পারতো
lineup, right? Dasan
Lige
last
থেকে
game didn't really,
কারণ
you
ও তো
didn't really
পালাতে
see him
পারবে
leave
না
this jungle. He was just, you know, farming efficiently, if you will, but he needs
যেমন
to
তোর
be more
ক্যান্ডির
aggressive.
মার্কসম্যান
He's
গুলো
trying
ছিল ও
to
তো
change it
পালাতে
up, and
পারে
you can kind of see how their play style
কিন্তু ও
has
তো পারবে না
evolved
সোলারিস তো
so
পারবে
far
না
in game two here.
First tyrant here. Okay, pretty much everyone has their own outs. So we'll see who makes the first
যদি বলবে
engagement
রোম
here. And
ছিল
the
তাহলে
bottom,
তো
yeah,
হয়তো
Marshall
জঙ্গলি
Dive right in. He's trying to go for the back line. Marlin, that is. The Tremor Slash only on the one fighting Kursak, but the burst ram on the Raging Sea used in return. He's going to flash away, but Jamovac is all by himself, and he's going to be taken down. Dasta doing a little bit of work. Finds two shots in return, so they've got a 1-for-1. The Wolves are
Finally,
on.
they are doing something.
Not enough to kill Jamovac.
It's a 1-for-1, and the tyrant is still open here, up for grabs. Now for Team Nepal, they still have the couple plays. They are the Ghanaian bowl. So that's a very strong smell to try to zone out Kyrgyzstan. But it looks like Team One is going to let this one go.
Yeah, I don't think that they have the opportunity to really go in on this one. I think that they're going to give this one up. Kyrgyzstan
ভালো
will
খেলছে এবার, ঠিক
happily
আছে?
take this, but BJ and Swastik, these are the guys. Whenever they're nearby, they have that burst and they're able to take you down. Kyrgyzstan, a lot of their guys are vulnerable to these two.
Yeah, and well, even though Kyrgyzstan they got the objective right, but in terms of goal, they're still slightly lacking behind. Yes, it's a good small win for them, but they have to find more.
Yeah, definitely need to find more. But this is,
Yeah.
it's not the end of the
They're
world,
doing
especially
actually
after
well.
game one, which is a little bit of a confidence
Huh?
breaker. But Kyrgyzstan have bounced back. This is the way you want that team
Bowder
to be.
pod.
You need them to be resilient and to be like,
Bowder
hey,
kudi.
it's just one game. Let's continue to grow.
I'm liking it. I'm liking not only the gameplay, I'm liking the draft a little bit more this time by Kyrgyzstan. I have a lot more expectation for them than this time. But what's going to be important when it comes to a team fight is for Kyrgyzstan to find the backline. Try to deal with the gun and Mo especially. Don't allow those couple plays to just get free hits.
You got to get on top of them. So if you're looking at the Kyrgyzstan lineup, like, who's the guy that needs to make the jump onto BJ? Because if he's on the far back and nobody's going on him, he's going to have a field day.
Okay, I am kind of thinking about
Game pods.
getting creative here. Try to go for the
Yeah,
back
yeah.
line, try to go behind to take down those key heroes that we mentioned. But Saki, what do you think about the game so far?
I think the game so far has been a big step up coming in
Yeah.
from Kyrgyzstan.
Something happened or
They're
not?
much more proactive. You can see more plays coming in from Dastan on the Ghana here. And Team Nepal, more pressure is being put on towards them against the Clash name, which is Jamal Bek on that Fatih.
What's up, man? What's up? How are you?
Much better time. I think that Dastan, though, Yukio, this is the guy. This is the one where, you know, the pace of this game, how things are set up, everything is going to revolve around him. I mean, that's the life of a jungler, right? You signed up for this. You need to be the guy. And he definitely
Did
is
not-
there because
This
if
is
they're losing, it's because
who?
he's not finding the right targets. He's not able
Luis Shua, right?
Yeah, I'm also thinking about like, okay, how did you deal with the gun and Mo, right? My best answer is going to be the Fatih.
By the way, if you're new, then please like this stream and subscribe this channel, guys, and join HOK Studio. Link in description below. You can earn around
Let's
5.
review back the composition.
Luis Shua, yeah, bro. How are you, man?
They do have the Liempo, the Tremor slash Flash. They also allow the Liempo to access towards the back front against key targets like the Tano and also
Yeah.
the Gun and Mo that you mentioned. And then the Fatih S1 Flash
Depending, bro.
can also reach pretty far in towards the back line here. So
Depends,
for
coach.
Dastan, I would say this
Huh?
game, they have more offensive control.
দেখছি
more control, more team fight.
কোকা একটা
But just like last game where they literally got wiped out, they lost the game, right? Like instantly, right? Is that potentially something that can happen in this one?
পুরো হ্যাক বাগাটা কিছু করছে না তো
So I think we will still make sure that the devices are
FC Mobile and Mobile Legend, which one is best? Mobile Legend
everyone
and
gets
which
an equal
FC Mobile?
ground
Bro,
scoring
HOK is better, bro.
itself here.
Play
So
HOK.
service here we'll have to go with
Download link in description.
All right, I'm just
Like the stream first, you should. You should
right now.
like the stream. দাঁড়া দাঁড়া
Which team or
এই ইমেলটা আফ্রিকান, ঠিক আছে?
give the win to. I think it's earned, but
Fine,
if we're going to judge
Rahman.
on the composition,
Fine.
I will have to say that Nepal's composition is really, really solid here. If they can actually make sure that the Gan and Mo and Chano never stands together, then it will make them have a higher percentage here.
All right, but it looks like everything is underway. We're good to go. Let's get back into this. Thank you so much, Sagi, for that. But now, look, Kyrgyzstan, right off the break, they take
Devil
shots.
Gaming.
They want a
Yo, what's
huge
up?
win for them, and now it looks like Marlon trying to set things up, gets the Tremor Smash onto Sushil, but the Raging Sea is going to be used in return. Marlon needs to be a little bit on the careful side as those blades.
ভালো খেলছে ভাই ভাই নেপাল is much
only Marlin.
না না ভাই নেপাল is doing well.
Efficient use of it, but well, I guess they were just trying to answer a fire with fire at some point. But then without the option to re-engage, they can.
Oh, Marlon so low. He's going to be fine. He does somehow survive that burst, and Dastan is showing up, and everybody like gets on out of there. Nobody wants to deal with him.
Look at the couple blades there. The Shan, he's forced to turn back just because of those couple blades. And we gotta think about it, right?
Yeah,
You don't get the takedown through the couple blades.
it's good. It's good,
You
bro.
force your opponents to turn back. That's good enough.
Yeah, definitely good enough. Swastik taking a couple shots, needs to be a bit on the careful side here. Nepal was being aggressive, chipping away. Again, we've talked about the importance of this mid-T1, and Nepal was trying to take it down, unfortunately not able to do so.
Yeah, I'm looking at
Yeah.
the items right now. So Venomous Staff completed by BJ. That's going to be really important
কি হয়েছে?
to try to get that win against Dastan especially, right? So that's a really
Yeah,
good
মেজটা
fight.
ও ওর নাম বিজয়।
I'm just waiting for at least.
Leader
But
stance.
hang on a second.
Oh, they just run it down as
Wait.
not no chance.
No, no, I thought ও
Everybody in the
বেঙ্গলি, বাট
wolves
পরে দেখলাম যে
from
নেপালি
Sushi,
বেঙ্গলি। lol.
everybody being thrown at him. Azat was like, what just happened?
Oh man, that was just so quick there. And that's the advantage that you can get if you have those wolves, right?
Yeah, able to take it down as well. They took
I
down
like this
Dastan.
stream,
That's
guys.
terrible for them. The flash away by Kudavanic, he's not able to get away. The hot streak going the way of Swastik as he's looking to tear these guys down. Does
Nice,
such a
nice,
great
nice.
job. Zoned away, space
अच्छा
created,
खेल रहा है
but
भाई ये
keeps you
लोग,
down.
much better than
Now,
this.
after that small little pause there,
Please help me,
Nepal,
Iron GP.
yeah,
Should I
taking the
start
scale
streaming
towards
while
themselves,
doing
it's like it's
content there?
starting to go all the way now for them.
Yeah, doing a great job in that sense. I mean, this is exactly what you want to do if you're Nepal. Just kind of putting that pressure and completely controlling and dictating everything of this game.
Yeah, and we can see BJ dictating the fight as well, right? Right now, he's not that typical Ganemo that sits behind, throws a couple blades. He's the one that stands in front. And if anyone chooses to engage directly onto the Ganemo, well, he has the Regency to back him up.
ওটাই তো।
That's the perfect counter
We are the
initiative
OGs.
to protect him, right? BJ and Swastik. Swastik is going to fly and do that damage, and the burst is actually pretty real. But BJ's the guy you got to keep tabs on. Anytime he's nearby, those blades are going to start to hurt.
Okay, I want to talk
Yeah.
about the positioning of BJ as well, right? Sure. Now, because he puts himself in front, and our theory
Why are you
is
reacting
that
like this?
if he gets behind, gets creative and all
Yeah,
that,
bro,
but
please
if he
help
sits down
me.
in front, then he can't go
How can I help you, bro?
Yeah,
Don't play anything.
BJ being up
Everything
front.
is
He has
shit.
Evergrave, he
Play
has
HOK. Link in
forward to
description
start
below.
strike
Oh,
on
nice.
three. Marlin is down. Dastan is running for his life. The rest of them are just looking to join, but no. Paul finding the right kickoff that is space created.
Bro,
Oh, absolutely.
they are not
And
okay
the
with
moment
this.
they took down Marlin, it's like, okay, they know
Literally,
that they don't have to
নেপালের টিম ভালো খেলছে ভাই।
at that point of time.
Trust me.
So they can just go
I
all
never
in, and
expect they're gonna
Kyrgyzstan
play like
can
this
turn
one.
back. Now, what I like about that earlier engagement towards the end is that the ball,
Hello,
they
baby.
showed discipline. They turn back, they focus back onto the lanes, they win the space because they know the next objective is going to come up soon.
All right, I have this
ভালো খেলছে
theory
বে।
that the players that play Rome are usually like flat-faced. And the reason for that is they keep getting punched in the face because they're the tank, but we're going to have to continue to... I'm just kidding. I'm a Rome
তোর ওটা
fan.
আমি রবিবারে
Back in
করিয়ে
the
দিচ্ছি,
day.
ঠিক আছে?
I've
কালকে
moved
করিয়ে
on in
দিচ্ছি,
that
কালকে
sense,
সন্ধ্যাবেলা।
but I've definitely been punched in the face quite a number of times here.
I'm glad that you changed roles.
তোকে যেটা বলেছিলাম তুই সেটা করেছিলিস কি?
Yeah. Let's do that. But here's the circle. It looks like it's going to be secured by Kyrgyzstan. All hands on deck. Gotta
না ওটা না,
secure
ওটা
this
না,
one.
আমি ফলোয়ার্সের ওটা, তুই তোকে যেটা বলেছিলাম ওটা।
Lock it in, but, oh,
Control the burst ram. Marlin gets back onto safety, but Suyong in return. But Jamalek is going to be
না
taken
ওটা,
down. He's like doing a little bit of work
yeah,
himself.
ওটা
He
আমি বলে
finds
দিই।
Dastan, and it looks like Marlin
Nice
is going
one,
to be taken
nice
down
one.
as well. The hot
They're
streak
playing
goes
well,
with
bro.
the shield as they walk Kubanic as well off the double strike of Sushi.
it was just unfortunate for me.
ভালো খেলছে।
The moment he saw the notification, it's like, oh, okay, the tyrant fell to the hands
Play Ludo.
of Team Nepal, which was disappointing.
Said hi bro, what's up JP, how are you doing? Sheen, hey Sheen, what's up?
Yeah, not going to be.
How are you?
This is looking very eerily similar to game one.
Shin,
where they
which
really
Shin? Assam
fight,
wala?
Now looking down.
Assam.
There's nobody left to help defend.
Assam Shin or?
They're going to take that bottom team
Oh, nice guys, nice.
as well as that mid one, and they've opened
They are
up this
doing well,
game
bro.
for potential to end.
Yeah, it almost felt like a half deja vu, right? Like if it was if they got all the takedowns, then they could have ended it. But because there was still Azad there and the timer was almost off, so Team Nepal they have to back off. But then again, Team Nepal they have absolutely.
Hi bro, hi,
Let's
what's
check
up?
out the replay just
Sheen
again,
मतलब
right? So
कौन सा?
you can see that Marlin he disengaged.
तुम भूल रहा हो भाई,
The rest of them
याददाश्त
came
बहुत
back.
कम
So
होते जा रहा है।
a little bit of a miscommunication.
Age
there
हो रहा है ना?
from Kyrgyzstan. They could have been like, okay,
Help,
we're
अरे
gonna
कैसे
do
करूँ
this
help भाई?
together rather than one
So
person
everyone is
running
shit,
away
no
and
one
letting
tournament
the
prize pool bro.
others
Finally
create.
said Oira, it's money I want from YouTube to
Now they want to go
tournaments.
for the first ram
So
on
I
Marlin,
don't,
somehow not
if
gonna
you,
survive as he gets taken down. The Regency was on point, but they
if you need
tried.
engagement
That's
then
gonna
go
be
for
great
FC.
for them, but Jamalbek taken down as well.
दादा
It's
actually.
very low. I don't think Kyrgyzstan can fight on this one.
अरे
Oh,
मैं
not
इसकी
at all,
आँख
not at all. they have to reset here. And plus, they don't have any other tanky heroes available. Jamal Back is down, Marlin is down, so they cannot. They have no other option to
Huh?
re-engage as long as those two heroes are not in the game.
Overlord easily soloed
Yeah.
here. Nepal doing almost everything well. I mean, they're down about 7K, but
Yeah.
Sushil dying on this one, that was a little bit of a factor, right? He's kind of been that guy that will get them over the eventual hump to end this.
Hmm.
Hey, but they still got the Overlord, so objective gameplay here by Nepal. So they do
How
have other
sometimes
options, right?
so.
You don't have Sushil, yes, you have Swastik, who can take the Overlord, so that's absolutely okay for them.
Said
They're
hi.
looking for another engagement here with Kyrgyzstan. They're going to try challenge as well.
Oh, nice. Suyon goes in for the Raging Sea. That's going to be on point. They actually try to flash away, but Marlin
Nice one,
taken
nice
down.
one.
Kyrgyzstan all out run. This top T3, they're
ভাই ওটা
trying to
অনেকটা
keep it
প্যাসিভ
alive,
খেলবে
but they're going to
অনেকটা
go back to the fountain. The crystal is probably the more important objective at this point. They need to heal up for this final push.
Like the
Oh,
stream,
this
and
is
if
gonna
you're
be
new
the
then
final
please
moment here.
join
They just wait
HOK
for the
Studio
engagement
guys.
to arrive, and there you go. This is the moment for
Yeah.
Team Nepal.
Yeah, they're looking to just continue on. I mean, they got the Vanguards. Azad is there. The crystal's taking a decent amount of damage. It's about half life. Azad is trying to stay alive, but he gets picked up by Swastik. It's not
Do
going to
you
be
think
enough,
should
but they
I
have the
focus
Raging
on
Sea
the
on top.
grind? I'm
Jamalbek
doing a
is
very
down. The
kind of
crystal's at
jump to
about
something
10%.
starting.
The Vanguard is
Content
now
you should be
slowed up,
pushed,
and
bro.
it looks like Nepal are going
That
to
I
take
say.
game 2,
Oh,
and they too
nice.
will sweep.
This is scaling victory
Huh?
by Team Nepal. They started off chill,
Yeah.
but they end on a high.
They did really well in game 1 and game 2, proving the fact that game 1 wasn't a fluke. The fact that they can
Nice.
actually sustain themselves.
Nepal जीत गया भाई
making
first match.
sure that
I want to see with
from those
like India versus
blades
Nepal,
coming in
bro.
from the gun and mole, making sure that it pokes the enemies out, get that bottom tower, rotate towards the mid lane, chunk out that mid lane tower, and then you can see BJ continuously with those fleshy forwards jabbing the hearts of
Yeah.
Kyrgyzstan champions here, and then it really allowed them to boost themselves towards the victory here. Ever since the 6-minute mark hit, every single play from the
Kobe?
has been just one sided against Kyrgyzstan.
It got to the point where Nepal really in that flow state.
Honda.
After game 1,
Okay.
guys, like started off, they're kind of like, it's a little shaky, we're very even, let Kyrgyzstan probably get into too many team fights, but then game 2, it was all domination. Right? They turned it up at the right time.
Yeah, absolutely right. And I like how they coordinated each other, right? Like, okay, who goes in first? And the moment one person goes in, everyone commits to it. As compared to Kyrgyzstan, there were moments towards the
Yeah,
end
exactly.
where
Yeah, bro.
you kind of felt that they were kind of divided in terms of understanding. Like, okay, somebody wants to
Dude.
disengage, but the others want to go in. So it was kind of messy.
Yeah, I have to agree. Where we did see that Kyrgyzstan, they did have
No,
a
exactly.
good early game. When it comes to like a grand team fight, 5v5
That actually
or
sound actually এত
here,
বেশি হয়ে গেছে না
Nepal was always one step, if not 2 steps ahead of Kyrgyzstan.
It just seemed like Kyrgyzstan were like afraid of commitment, right? No, I'm kidding. It just, I think in terms of that, it didn't seem like they were on the same page, right? And some of those team fights that were happening were a little awkward at moments because one guy was trying to go in, the others are like, no, not just yet. We got to kind of pick our moments, but they need to be on the same page.
Please
Everyone
help
in
me.
it.
Yeah, I thought that was a personal statement.
হ্যাঁ বল কি বলছিস
Oh man. But yeah, I guess
খুব কম
well, this is their first round, right? In this tournament.
I have
so
to
it's
grind
a
for
good
this, bhai.
moment for Kyrgyzstan in the following rounds is to kind of work on their chemistry.
Viewers are there.
Yeah,
Views
I
तो
think
थोड़ा बहुत
chemistry
आ
is a
जा
very
रहा है
important factor. It allows you to move as one, team fight as one. And for this case, I would say that Nepal was really as one.
Views थोड़ा बहुत तो आ जा रहा है उसमें तो इशू है नहीं सही में
So you're
बताओ तो
coming in with the Lapu Lapu ultimate, and then you can start to
बट
see
उसमें
the
कुछ फायदा है
ability
नहीं
to
अब
target
मतलब
and go
क्या
in
ही
one
बोलूं
go. I gotta say, BJ, he's
India
really
is
good on those
here,
push
bro.
forwards.
What do you
He is
mean by
so
this, bro?
accurate on those spears.
And that's scary, right? When
Scary.
you have a guy role player against you and the blades are on point, he's very accurate.
আমার ইউটিউবে $100 মতন আটকে পড়ে আছে ভাই
How do I get around him? Do I need to find the right angle? It's very difficult when his position
$100
as well.
Yeah, and it's hard to find an angle to go to.
অনেক আগে আমার তো ওই
because
মাঝখানে ডিমোনেটাইজ হয়ে গেল না
not only from the side but also from the back as well.
Oh yeah, as you can see in this post-game stats here, 5-1 and 4 coming in from Sushil here, still very steady on that channel pick. 0-0-9 on BJ, but you can see from the in-game pressure that he has generated from Swastik and also Sushang,
সেটা ঠিক
poking down the enemy,
HOK push
softening
করছে
up,
ভাই
battering up for Swastik, and Sushang just come pick it up for the easy kill here. He was landing very crucial poke on the Ganem move.
doing everything right. And also, I want to give shout outs to
पेस ऑफ
Suyo,
मीट बोलो
right?
ट्राई फॉर
Because
स्किन
his
प्रो जेपी
raging C's
हाँ
were so
जेटर
good.
नेपाल
Not
जेटर
only in
नेपाल
terms
नहीं
of
खेल किलो वेट
initiation, but the
लेने
counter
हाँ
initiation as
कोणता
well. Like
मैच कोण
Kyrgyzstan,
मैच
you're
था
thinking, ah, I got the numbers up, I got the
नहीं
2
था
minutes done. But then he was
नेपाल
on
एक मैच
point,
था मिड लेन
ensuring
बोलो
that
था
those
ना
guys
मैच
would
था
just stay alive with his
Oh,
raging.
113
Look at this,
viewers.
right?
What the fuck?
Sushil bought the Sun Chaser.
Oh yeah.
So because of that, then he can stay even further from any potential engagements by Kyrgyzstan.
It's a big headache for Kyrgyzstan, right? If Sushil and BJ aren't too close to each other in team fights and they are separated well and good positioning, you gotta be wondering if you're
बोल
Jamal
बोला
then
नेपाली people are
how do
rock.
you
Nepali people are
strategically go towards the backline and have your teammates follow up immediately because
चल
those
भाई
are
एलम ठीक
very
है
long-range heroes that
हाँ हाँ
Kyrgyzstan
हाँ
has a very difficult time in
सुनने सुनने वाला
accessing
खेला
and
रोले कॉल
reacting
को
to.
नहीं
Have a much harder time, right? It's
Okay,
not
okay.
as simple, right?
Okay, okay.
Especially when Nepal had that map control, they were able to kind of, you know what I mean? Like when you're using that map control, you have guys that are forward scouts, right? So you have vision, so you know when things are coming. And when you're losing, it's the exact opposite. It's very dark. It's very hard to find the right moments to ambush, and you can kind of see how Nepal played that one perfectly here.
Okay, I'm looking at some of the
Let's
stats
see,
here.
let's see.
Azad has a 0% team fight rate. So it kind of tells me the story of like, okay, they want to open up the space for Azad to farm and hopefully he's able to be the one to carry towards the late game. But clearly we didn't go that late.
I think it's also very difficult for the DRNG to actually perform when you are severely outranged by BJ's Gun and Mo. Every time you want to walk up for those golden tokens to dish out damage as a farm lane with medium range, you gotta be wondering, ooh, is that freshly forged aimed towards my face or somewhere else? Because if I get hit by one full set, I'm out.
People are using
If there was
a
body
lot of
collision,
good
I would be
heroes
like,
here.
oh, Sir Cloud, I would put him in front of me.
But some
I'd be
basics
like,
and
oh, let
some
him
old
take it, right?
meta
Because
heroes are
Filthy
there
main.
in Nepali.
Oh, that's
It's,
fair
sorry,
enough,
in
yeah.
Nepal. People.
So you're gonna be flat faced because you're Rome where you got punched in the face with all. Anyway, but I mean, this was a completely just dominant performance by Nepal here. I mean, the gold graph, it took a little bit to kind of get going. You're kind of
Exactly.
see this time and time again where they're happy to kind of extend the game as long as they're not losing early game. They're finding ways to kind of accelerate from that farm.
It felt like everything was under the control of Team Nepal. Like, they know that, okay, let's equalize out the early game. Once VJ gets the priority in the mid lane push, he comes down, start poking out every single member, and then we see Clash Lane from Team Nepal teleport down to assist the team. And once that tower is down, we rotate towards the mid lane, pick up the mid tower. That's where we gain access towards the enemy jungle, where Suyo gets those beautiful Raging Seas to build the goal into a 9,000 full in the late game.
It just seems like Nepal is built around a tipping point.
Correct.
Because once that moment
Fair
happens,
enough.
everything crumbles. Right?
Domino.
It's like the domino effect. I love it, right? Because they were completely pushed back, and then all of a sudden, Kyrgyzstan, they were like stuck in their fountain. They were dead. They had the death timers or whatever, and they were kind of just hidden back, and they had no answers because Nepal, from that moment on, it was completely theirs.
All right, I worry that these stats will work for Team Nepal for this game. But for the next game, I don't know, because it kind of feels that, okay, they want to farm up before they engage, before they start to do something significant, right? Other teams might not give them that space.
I would say so, but it all depends on how they actually play around stronger opponents moving on in their respective tier. But in this game itself, in these two games, very calm and collected coming in from Team Nepal. Yes, we do see a form of comeback in early fights coming from Kyrgyzstan, where Dastan was able to get the kills. But as you can see, the map movement here coming in from Suyo
Nepal.
here was just really
भाई
fun
मानना तो
in this
पड़ेगा. I
game.
don't know, but
One thing also to take note
when
of
you
is that
wanna play together,
kind of went back to the well, right? They
I don't
went back
see
to
my
some of the
pro
heroes that
skills.
they previously played whenever.
Let's see, let's
I
see.
always
Play
feel like
Hawk,
when you
dude.
lose, there's a
Link,
reason.
link
Like,
in
it's been
bio.
solved. You need to
Just
figure
go
something
in,
else out. You
check
need to go
description,
in a
right?
different direction.
Go and check description.
Dude, 3-man Raging Sea, that was brilliant.
And
That was
Nepal is doing
beautiful.
well, bro.
And after hitting the Raging Sea, like everybody from Team Nepal just come in. This is what I call chemistry. So Team Nepal,
They are
they
playing
are
very
advancing
well.
right now.
And their actually their
It
chemistry
sounds
is very
supporting
good,
each
bro.
other.
Correct.
Which
It never
game is
really
this?
relies solely on one
It's
person.
okay,
For
man. Link in
example,
description.
we do see
You can
Suyo
earn
also
while
playing
playing,
Clash
bro.
Strike, which in these examples as
Like
well, when Suyo goes in,
something
he
called
uses
like
all strike
HOK
force.
Studio.
Suyo is late to the party, and Sushek starts to fight for the team first. So it's never about over relying on one person, but it's a team effort in collaborating for this game to dominant win.
Yeah, everybody's sticking together. I mean, but in the end of the day, Swastik is going to be your MVP with a monstrous KDA of 804. Yes, it was set up by the rest of the team, but I mean, he was able to clean up, and that's kind of what you want from a Nakamura.
Yeah, he
This
must have
hero
a
is
good
too
finisher
old
as well,
meta
right?
to be
But
honest. So
overall, it is a team effort. It's set up well by the Ganemo. Like what you said, the Ganemo just winds down the health of
ये
the
हाहा वो
opponents, and
क्यों हो
then
गया? एचओ के लिखने के
Swasti
लिए
just
गया
comes in and made a
था। हाहा
finisher.
कैसे हो
So
गया?
he did what he's supposed to do.
Correct. He found the proper
Yes.
positioning in putting himself to
Which
collect
game
the
search, bro? Full
takedowns for the
name?
team,
But
and
you don't
then
know
the
full
team
name.
sets it up
Let
based
me
off the
type
fact
it.
that okay, Swastik will be here to clean house, and that's what exactly deserving for this MVP. 804, 20% damage dealt, 17% damage
Link in
per kill,
description.
almost 26%. So you know for a fact he's been sweeping the goal and delivering when he's needed.
A lot of the teams
Bio
need a
link
jungler
bio
like
पे
that.
है, bro.
I think that
Oh,
just the
sorry, link
amount of
in bio.
impact
Just
that
go
he
and check
had
it out.
throughout the entire game. What the team fights were not happening until you saw Swastik within the vicinity, right? He's always that guy that's been able to kind of come at the right moment. And I mean, clean house 8004. This is exactly what you want from a jungler.
Yeah, and I guess because like yeah, you have the Ganemo that can deal a lot of damage, but the moment you send your couple blades in front and your opponent's health is low, they will immediately back off. And who's going to chase them, right? So you always need the Nakaruru there to chase down whoever that target is and finish up the job.
And sometimes it's not only about like Suyok or like Sushil like starting off the team fight for their team and also the clash lane, but you see as well the jungle Nakoruru comes in clutch with the early burst first
Yeah.
on towards Team Kyrgyzstan's roamer.
Yeah.
Immediately his health bar went down to like 10%, and that's where Suyo comes in, picks up the kills, or starts the team fight with the Lapu Lapu ultimate. So everything falls in line with how the team functions. It's never about over reliance, it's about one team playing one full game, a beautiful victory for Team Nepal.
It's all about execution, right?
Yeah.
And the way that they were able to do it, like the stuns, the skills, everything was stacked perfectly, right? And hitting those moments, and it's all about trust, right? Especially when we're guys on the desk, we're like, well, I trust you, brothers. But it's even better when you're seeing it on the stage and the way that they're able to kind of get to that, because those are the teams that are really gonna rise here.
Oh, I know this game,
Yeah,
bro. Played
communications is
it
one,
before,
and
bro.
also
Best
sometimes like okay, there's
good one then.
a
I
certain
don't
amount
know.
of communications that you can have
Yeah,
with
bro.
players.
It's a
Sometimes
good
it has to
game.
be intuition as well.
Yeah.
It has to be like, okay, I see you like starting to move that way without even saying it. I'm already starting to do it, and this is where the strength of Team Nepal lies.
I knew you were gonna say that. I don't know how. I
Oh,
just
man.
got it. I think we have that same level of trust.
Exactly.
This is not pre-recorded, right? This is live. I can definitely do
Yeah.
it. But
He's reading off a
let's save the
script.
talk for now. We want to hear more with Mara and the representative of Team Nepal on the stage. So take it away, Mara.
Winning team का ही क्यों लिया जा रहा है,
And with
bro?
that dominant victory, here we are, Team Nepal. Congratulations, 2-0. You guys had great map positioning, pressure. In fact, you were MVP in game number 1 with that Zhang Fei. Now, what was the key to that level of dominance that you showed?
We have just like practiced a lot recently with the team, and like my team and me, we have been playing together for a long time now. So yeah, like playing together for a long time has helped us a lot to synergize well.
Now, you came in
मैं
here
क्या बोल रहा है भाई तू?
smiling, really happy. Now, what was the first thing that you said to your team back there when you had that first win? Because for sure, it boosts your confidence.
Yeah, and we just said like we're just happy because like it's our first time winning on the stage like this, so we're just happy. Like we didn't say anything, like we just said yeah we won like that.
And I'm so glad that you won. Now, with that level of dominance, how would you ensure that you can repeat that same performance all throughout the series, all throughout the day, and
बात तो
week?
सही है.
Yeah,
कैसे वो
we'll
करेगा?
just screams more, we'll just practice more, and yeah, we'll try to like maintain the same level of consistency throughout the tournament.
And for sure, everybody from Nepal is watching you right now, really happy with that. What would you like to say to them and to everybody watching?
Yeah, thank you to everyone who is like watching and supporting us, and like keep supporting us. Yeah, thank you.
And thank you so much for showing such a
That
great
guy is so
performance.
nervous,
Good
dude.
luck on your next match.
Thank you.
And we're going to be talking about that a little bit more. So we're going to head back to our casters. Lead the gorge.
Thank you, Mara, and also Suyok here. Very nice man there coming in from Nepal itself. And I would say that the secret
हमें
of
इंडिया
why
के साथ
Nepal
देखना
is
है तो
able
भी
to
कैसा
function
सिचुएशन
as a
बनेगा.
collaborative hive mind is the way they play. And he did mention as well, it's like, okay, we have been practicing together for a long time. Hence, you can see like in the gameplay itself, very strategic five-man movements, and the way they move around the map, where we say macro movements, are very clean in this game.
Very helpful.
Very helpful.
Execution and the way that they were able to kind of, like trust one another. When they make a move, the other guy's like kind of following up with them, and there never was any sort of doubt with that.
Yeah, I'm glad that he kind of referenced slightly on our Zhangfei coaching session. He's kind of proud with that, right? Doing good, doing good.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Find me at Sir Cloudcast, like just find me and then find me for those what do you call that? The Zhangfei tips, right? But let's save that. The next upcoming series will be between Syria and also Sri Lanka, which is also their debut matches. A lot of debut matches in day 1, day 2, and day 3, but we want to find out how both of these regions play in the Honor of Kings global scene here. So I'm definitely excited for this upcoming series.
This one's going to be an interesting one too, right? I think that again, this is more of, we kind of knew Nepal, some of those players. This one is a little bit less so in terms of like what is the information, what do they like to draft. So this should be a very evenly competitive match here.
Yes, and I do hope that we get to see the Tolia at some point. I might lose that coffee though, but I wouldn't mind having that Tolia on.
Nepal team is very good. Yeah, exactly.
Variety coming in from the pick and bans itself, so that we see like more potential drafts coming in for the later stages of the day, especially when we go into elimination matches as we move on in towards the Asian Games qualifiers. You know for a fact that the games are going to get even more sweaty.
Yeah, definitely so. I think that we've seen them. It's been a little bit, a little bit of a feeling out process thus far, especially with the first 2 series. But, I think through that all, they've been very successful on the IQ official gaming phone for 2026 Asia Games Esports events.
Download and check my skins and some free skins. Yeah, let's see if I get some tokens and I'll give you some skins in there.
Enjoying it on stage.
Don't worry.
Keep talking about 120 FPS. Who doesn't enjoy 120 FPS with the highest graphic quality settings here? And I personally own an iQOO, so it's pretty good. It doesn't overheat, and the players are using iQOO 15R if you're interested in the phone itself. So do check it out if you're interested in a strong gaming phone. But boys, lads, I think that we need a bit of a small break as the players itself to actually prepare for the upcoming series between Syria and Sri Lanka. So let's throw it to a short break before we come back with
Sri Lanka का भी match है.
Asian Games qualifiers.
Yeah, let's see. Yes, yes. We play together. You should tell Kailash once. You should tell Kailash once, bro. पाकिस्तान के साथ एक बार मैच लगाना चाहिए था. I think that would be the greater option.
This is a challenge, but it is also an opportunity. The tide is turned.
10-minute breaks. Okay, I'll call him, bro. I don't worry. Yeah, you don't worry. I will call him today about that, bro. Okay, man. Some highlights. Check it out, guys.
And we pulled it off together. We share the same voice. This is a challenge, but it is also an opportunity.
9 minutes break. Ooh. Gonna off the stream after some time. No, 10 minutes. Together we shine.
2026 Asian Games Esports Qualifiers, Honor of Kings. 20 regions, one stage, and only the strongest 9 teams will earn the right to shine above the rest. Taking place in Malaysia, June 13th to 21st, 2026. Coming to Malaysia, this is the battleground where teams fight for the right to qualify for the Asian Games. 20 teams enter, but only 9 teams will move on. Apart from the 20 regions, there are 3 regions that have direct qualification. Here is the 2026 Asian Games Esports Qualifiers Honor of Kings format. First, the 20 teams will split into 4 groups of 5. In each group,
Chalo.
every team faces every other team once in a single round robin, with every match played in a best-of-3 format. That means every match matters. Every game matters. Every single point matters. The point system is simple. Win the match, earn 1 point. Lose the match, earn none. At the end of the group stage, teams are ranked by the total points they've collected.
Like their rank system point is very
The
good, by
top
the
2
way.
teams from each group
Like compared to other games, they have
Asian
some
Games main event.
literally
Gives us 8 teams
so
advancing
easy
straight out of
and so
groups.
understanding
For those not through yet,
match
the
point
fight
and
is
team
now.
schedule or team charts
Teams
also.
who finish third in each group still have 1
It's
more
pretty
shot.
well.
They move into the last chance stage. There, they battle through one final BO3 single elimination bracket until 2 teams remain. The 2 teams will then face off in a BO3 match to claim the one final qualification slot. So in total, 9 teams will make it through, 8 from the group stage and 1 through the last chance stage. That is the rule. Now it is time to see who can rise through it.
See you
From
soon.
across the world, regions gather here in Malaysia